anytime you want to, okay, with questions. You want to answer lots of questions. You probably have them. Don't keep them inside you. Just ask. You don't have to raise your hand, just talk. Just say, but what about, okay? Well, what if, you know, do all that. And we'll answer the questions for you. Pencil? Now, what I mean by participation, I want to know who believes that statement. Out of who's in the room right here, who believes it? If you believe it, raise your hand. Okay, anybody that doesn't believe it is not going to be adjustable to the changes that we're going to be making, because this is what it all revolves around. Processing people, working with people. A customer handling system that's going to need to be followed this year. That's the major change based on this statement right here. Okay? So, this is what's going to be real important to you. Believe in this. Customer handling system means that there's going to be a way we're going to process people through Mario's Hair Company. If somebody comes into here and gets a service, they're going to be treated the same way they're going to get treated way down at 75th Avenue. Same customer handling system. That's what the evaluations are going to be. There's going to be a point system that we're going to have each week that's going to be based on customer handling. You're going to get a certain amount of points for how well you process people. That's the major change in 1988. We're going to be leaning more towards satisfying people. Why? Because we need to change. We've been in business for 9 years, and every year we felt like we've made a big difference each year. Last year we didn't feel that way. We felt like we were just another haircut place. And we can't do that. We got to be different. That's our slogan, we make a difference. If you work with the customer handling system, learn to like it, you'll build your earning power. All the gaps that you felt last year, they'll be filled. That's the big thing for you. A lot of time that was wasted will not be wasted because people will come back. What happens is people come into a salon and there's nothing that you guys are really doing wrong. It's just that they're not impressed enough. There's so much competition out there. They go home, they see something on the table that says, come on down to this place for $19.95, and zoom, that's where they go. So it's nothing that you guys are doing. We spent a lot of money on advertisement, and people did not come back because they just weren't impressed enough. So we're going to impress them more than they can get impressed anywhere. That's the big change of the year, customer handling. The managers will be managing by wandering around, looking and seeing if people are being handled properly. So if we had to sum up this whole thing, that's what it would be. We do have a lot of other things that we need to tell you about to be able to handle the people, and that's what we're going to spend the next couple hours. I hope it's just a couple hours doing. Okay? We've got a file card system that needs to be explained. It's going to be color coded. We have a VIC club. We have a change in salary, and I'll tell you what that is right now. Open up the handbook to where it says salary. Everybody find it on page 5? Okay, now, don't let that scare you, okay? Because everybody in this room right now does not have to go on this program. You can stay exactly the way you are right now on commission. But you have a choice. And it's Saturday, by Saturday, you need to call the office and let Diane know what you want to do. Anybody that comes in at entry level, which is like the first day or first week, $4.13 per hour, or $165 a week. That's what $4.13 per hour equals. There's little books there for you. Little books there for you. We're on page 5. Okay, when somebody first comes in, that's entry level, $4.13 an hour, $165 per week, based on 40-hour work weeks, plus 60% of everything that's taken in over $500. Okay, with this program, here's an example here how it works. If you took in $600, you subtract the first $500 from it, that would leave you with $100. You get 60% commission off that, which is $60, and your 40 hours at $4.13 an hour, which is $165, add up the two, is $225.20. Now, with that, we pay holiday pay and medical and dental, okay, with that program. Now, that'll be for anybody new coming in this year. Anybody that comes in, that's the way it'll be. Now, you've got, after 90 days, their medical will be paid half by the company, okay? After 1 year, the medical will be paid 100%, and also the dental, okay? So just put yourself in that place, however long you've been here, and that'll tell you where you'll stand with medical benefits. Handling system. There's one real important thing I want to say about that. The main objective in using the system that right now you know nothing about, I just gave you the title of it, Customer Handling System. The purpose of it is to, go ahead. I want to make a statement. The purpose of the Customer Handling System, two big reasons for you, okay? Disregarding the customer, they're going to get excellent service. They're going to go crazy when they come in and get a service done at Mario's Hair Company. They're going to walk out and say, gee, I've never been treated like that. And when they go home and they see another haircut place's advertisement on their table, it's not going to give them the desire to pick it up anymore, because they will be impressed with the service that you've given them to go through this customer handling system. So there's two things in it for you. You're going to increase your earning power tremendously, because people are going to come back. One thing, they're going to talk about you. And there's lots of other things that we're going to give you today to develop more people for yourself. Another big thing that it's going to do for you is maintain a professional frame of mind on a daily basis. Not just being a professional on Monday or thinking that you're a professional on Tuesday, but you'll have a professional frame of mind every single day of your life inside of a haircut salon. And I know that a lot of us live in an imaginary professional world. It's like we're almost professionals, but we're not. With this program, you will be a professional, no question about it, if you follow the program and you don't fight it. And you'll have a lot of, as we go along here, some of you may have things in your mind like, well, why do we have to do that? That seems stupid, okay? I don't see why we have to do that. These are the things that may go through some of your mind. I'm hoping right now, okay, that what will happen in your mind is you'll go, aha, that's how money's made in this business. I'll be darned. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, I'm hoping that that's not fair type thing, and why do we have to do that? That seems stupid to do. I hope that you can be above that and really put on a professional cap here today, okay? First thing we're going to talk about is our file system. I'm going to explain that to you. Every single customer that comes in, okay, as soon as we get our file systems in, which will be Wednesday, they'll fill out an information card. And if you look in the back of your book, you'll find one. Right, it's right under the VIC club card. Just rip the staple right out so you get all of them. Okay, very simple card. Looks like this. This will be our file card. Every customer needs to fill one out, not just perm and color people. Every customer. Now, what might be going through some of your heads right now is, what if somebody doesn't want to fill one out? Is that in anybody's mind right now? What happens if somebody doesn't want to fill one out? Okay. Like, for example, you might say, before I get started, would you mind filling that out for me? Okay. We're going to get you some clipboards too, and you'll have this on a clipboard. Before I get started with you, I'd like for you to fill this out. And the customer says, well, why do I have to do that? Okay. Well, if you stand there non-enthusiastically and say, well, because we have to, he's gonna say, well, I don't want to. Okay, in other words, you joined them. And that's negativity. And if you say, well, because that's what we're told to do here, okay, it's gonna be the same thing. Okay, because that's policy here, you know, you need to fill that out. It's gonna be the same thing. But if you stand there and say, well, because we have a lot of exciting things coming up this year, and we want you to be the first one to know about it, or whatever other enthusiastic sentence you can come up with, the person will be happy to fill it out. You won't have any problems at all. Now, and is anybody going to have any problems with that? Do raise your hand, maybe I can help you. You know, ease your mind. There's going to be some things we're going to come up with here that for some people that are not aggressive will have a little fear, fast heartbeat. Okay, with type things. Go ahead.
Is this for like kids too that just?
Every single person, whether it's a 90-year-old man or a 9-month-old baby, everybody gets one. And you know, if it's babies, you know, you got to fill it out. If there's somebody with Parkinson's disease, you're going to have to help them. Now, when they fill out a card, okay, you put down here the date, the service that you did. If it's just a haircut, put haircut. If it's a perm, put a perm. Products used, I want to put some notes in there, the rods that you use in the perm, right small. And then it has, if they bought any products, put that down, and your initials, so we know who took care of this customer. Okay. On the back of the card, at the top, I want you to, when you first start this card, okay, put down adult or child, okay? Or we can just do this. If you have somebody that's under 18, just put under 18 on there. That'll make it simple. Or you can just put it right here on the bottom, under 18, so that we know. The reason for that is through our mailing process. We're going to have a lot of mail-outs, direct mail to these people that fill out these cards. And you'll see how important these are going to be as we move along. Okay, after the card's filled out, and you know, you're all finished, the customer's gone, you take the card and you lay it right next to the file system. There's going to be a file box. You don't put it in it, you lay it there. Because they all stack up for the day. They're not placed back into the file until the next morning when they're called into our computers. We've got 2 computers drifting out there. And there'll be a number for whoever's going to be assigned. You know, either the manager's going to call in the information, or maybe you guys will, you know, have that job a couple times a week in the morning when you come in. To call in all the data that was on these cards. Okay?
So Mario, this is gonna be for perms and for haircuts.
And for color, for anything.
For
It's not-
anything.
Yeah, even if it's a bang
But we're not
trim.
gonna have perm cards anymore that we have to fill out too, or just
No,
this?
just this. There's a chair somewhere right here, Tony, or right next to Ann there. Now, when these are called in, okay, before they're put into the file, there's going to be a color button that's going to go on. The first 8 weeks of the year, the color will be red. So you'll have red buttons at your front desk to put on these cards before they go in, after they're called into the computer. You're probably wondering why. Why is there a red card? Well, what we're going to do is split the year up into 8-week intervals. Okay? 8-week color codes. So the first 8 weeks, we'll be using red buttons on all these cards. The second 8 weeks, anybody that comes in the salon will get a blue button that will be put on a card. Okay? The third 8-week process, we'll use green. Okay? But you won't have to worry about that until we're 24 weeks into the year. Now, if we're working on green and we look, you can see it right there in your salon. All you have to do is pop open the file. And you see a bunch of red buttons in there. Guess what that means?
They were in.
And they didn't come back. It's a if we're on week 24 and everybody's getting a green button that comes in, and you look in your file and you see a bunch of red ones, that means, uh-oh, they didn't come back. Okay, this year we want to know why they didn't come back. We'll call them up and ask them. Okay, we've had a few monsters looking around in the haircut salons this year that have totaled people, destroyed them, not with haircuts, with their attitude. I get the calls, I get the comments, I do surveys all the time. When all of a sudden you see a manager giving a haircutter a hard time or whatever, and the haircutter bursts out and leaves, there's a reason behind it. We know our business. And that's the phrase I use. Monsters lurking around the haircut salon ruining people. And they may be nice, you know, sitting around the salon talking to you. They may be nice people, but they're not impressing the customers at all. So this year we have to know about that. We want to find out why. Now, what will happen first, if we find little red buttons looking in the file thing there, they will get this in the mail. Everybody has one of these in there. You can take a look at it. Before they get a phone call, they'll get one of these. This says, in looking through our files, we found that your last appointment was some time ago. We would like the opportunity of serving you again. Please accept this card as a certificate for $2 off your next haircut. Please call soon for an appointment. Okay, this will be one effort to get them back, because we lost them. We lost them to the people across the street, or whoever. So we'll do anything to get them back. And this is the first thing. And if we don't get response off this, we have hired somebody to make quality control calls every night, okay? And what they're going to do is every night they'll be making a certain amount of calls from each salon, from people that were serviced a week before. And all they're going to say is, my name is so-and-so, I'm calling from Mario's Hair Company, I'm a quality control inspector, you were in the salon last Tuesday and had service done, I just want to know how your haircut's doing. We want to make sure everything's fine. And those responses will be logged, so that when you have meetings, that's the type of thing that you'll be talking about. How to serve the customer better. No more what we call shop meetings. Those no longer exist at Mario's Hair Company. They will be called sales meetings. Okay? You might want to take notes. I'm talking off the top of my head here. Okay? In fact, I might be getting too far ahead here, going into something that I should be talking about maybe an hour from now. But you will no longer have shop meetings. No more meetings about, okay, what we used to call them was what? Bitch sessions? No more. They're called sales meetings. You go right around the circle, and your manager already knows about it, and they'll tell you all about it. You'll be just going right around and saying, okay, Nancy, what did you sell? What do you got in? Your meetings will be Saturday morning before the day starts to see where you stand so you can reach your goals and work on your goals. You'll be working off graphs. I'll show you that later too. No more meetings, well, hey, I was off on Tuesday and I had 15 combs in my box and I've only got 10 now. Somebody stole it. No more meetings like that. If somebody stole my vent brush, or what happened to my dryer, who was using my tools. If you got a problem with something like that, you take it one-on-one. If you got a problem, a personality conflict, which happens a lot in the haircut business, you take the person outside. Do whatever you got to do to solve that personality conflict, because you're going to be considered salespeople this year. You're going to be selling yourself, selling the products and services, the company that you work for, and that's really the change in a nutshell. And all the things we're going to talk about blend in with that statement. So, as far as you're concerned, you're going to have to be just a little bit more aggressive. Some haircutters are sensitive. You need to desensitize yourself. You can't be sensitive in this business. The things that we're going to be doing are sales things. You have to believe that you're in a sales business to even start. My opening statement was going to be today that you don't need to look for a new job. You got one starting tomorrow. This is a new job for you. Whatever you did last year at Mario's Hair Company no longer exist. You have to become a sales-minded person in order to function. You have to believe that you are in the sales business and think and eat and sleep like a salesperson to make people happy. Am I making sense to everybody? Now, I may be saying things that are scaring you. If you're a non-aggressive person, and I know there are some here, that are scaring you, causing that fast heartbeat, believe me, if you take the plunge into the twilight zone, conquer those fears, you'll feel real good about yourself, and you'll feel real good about your profession, and you'll feel, for once in your life, that you really are a true professional. 6 months down the road on this program, customer handling system, you'll feel fantastic about yourself and the career that you chose. Because you won't be walking around professionalism. You'll be coming right in. And if somebody questions you as a professional, you'll be able to look them square in the eye and say, by golly, I'm a professional salesperson and a haircut. And I know this business. Because we're not touching anything that doesn't have to do with sales or the haircut business. Now, when they fill out the card, every single customer, 5 weeks from the moment that they fill the card out, gets one of these. It says, thank you. Everybody gets one, 5 weeks down the road. It says, dear valued customer, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your recent visit. I hope you were pleased with your hairstyle. I would also like to remind you that if you wish to make an appointment for your next haircut, this would be a good time to do it. An early booking will ensure an appointment time which will be convenient for you. Please call the salon. Looking forward to be able to serve you again. Sincerely, Mario's Hair Company. This is coming from me,
Are you
the
gonna
salon
sign
owner.
it?
Yes. Every single customer, 5 weeks from the moment that they came in, will get one of these. What's it going to do? Think about it. One big thing it's going to do.
Customer feels good.
All right, it's going to make them feel good. But a big thing that it's going to do is if they walked out of the salon and maybe on that day the manager had to come up to you and say, what happened to the customer handling system? You didn't use it on that customer. What was wrong? What happened? And you say, I forgot. And this customer wasn't impressed. This might be that little extra that they needed to not go someplace else. The thank you, the appreciation of the appointment reminder. Because it happens a lot. You know, they walk out of the salon and you didn't do anything wrong. You were a nice person. You gave a decent haircut, okay? But they just weren't impressed enough to where when they go home, they get an Advil coupon from another shop and they say, well, hey, I might as well try this place next time. And that's what's happening in this business. We will be unique. There is no one doing what we're going to be doing this year. No one in this town. A lot of these items are exclusive items that maybe you've never seen before, but they're what people are looking for, I guarantee you that. And they're going to help you out tremendously. The gaps that you felt last year, this will be one of the main things that will fill that gap right here, along with your customer handling system that Todd is going to explain later on. We will have these. Dear valued customers, okay, loyal customer cards is what we're going to call them. Anybody that comes in 5 times, if we press a button on a computer and go like this, we say we want to know everybody that's been in 5 times, boop, 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 it'll spit out labels of everybody that's been in 5 times. They're loyal customers. They're coming back to the salon. They'll get one of these. And when they come in, we'll give them a free 16-ounce bottle of something. Okay, they'll get one of these cards with their next haircut. What's it do? Gives them incentive to come back and lets them know we appreciate it. Nobody does that. We'll be the only people. And it'll help you. These perm cards, I don't know, we got all different colors of them. Mine's blue. Got a little hairstyle thing up there. Okay. These we will use with our own customers. Okay? We may press a button on the computer and it'll spit out everybody that's been in our salon that never got a perm. They came in for haircuts, whatever, but they never got a perm. They'll get one of these. Then we might decide, well, let's send one of these to everybody that's got a permit. We might send out one of these. We might decide, let's send one to everybody that's ever came in. Send one of these. It depends on what we've got on our calendar of events for the year. And
Now,
you'll
would
always
this
be
mean-
aware, huh?
Would this mean, let's say, give them the, if they already have a coupon, then I'd give them $5 off more?
No. No, it's $5 off the regular price. There's one that says students are special. Okay, that's one of the main reasons we need to know 18 or under on the back of the card, so that when that information is called in, so that if we decide during school time or whatever, we can press our button and get a bunch of labels of all the youngsters and school kids that came in the salon and send them one of these, so that they don't go anywhere else. Huh?
What if it's a college student,
That's fine, student card.
but they won't be 18 or under?
You could just write it on the card, college student, you know.
Was
when
this
the
to
card
bring
is
the,
filled out.
your school ID or anything like that?
Right. We may use this as what we're gonna call a file blitz, okay? Certain times during the year, like when school's going back and that type of thing, we may do a file blitz on everybody that's been in the salon for the first 6 months of the year and send them one of these, whether they're kids or not. We're gonna send them one of these just in case they have any kids. Also, we'll still be using another direct mail system, which is Advo. Open up that thing here, Todd, there's some Advo. Yeah?
So,
Yeah. These are Advo, I'm sure you've seen them. Okay, so we will still be using this, and we are also using the Penny Saver. We're rotating. Okay, 1 week with Penny Saver, 1 week with Advo. We're gonna be doing these so that we can still be attracting new customers all year. Because even with your customer handling system, you're still gonna lose customers. They move, okay? They move and whatever else they do, you're gonna lose customers, okay? Or maybe, there's another example, their daughter became a hairstylist, and they're working over at such and such haircut place, so they decided to go there. You know? So we wanna constantly be attracting new people, but most of all, this year, we want to pamper the people that take care of us. That's going to be our big key this year. People that take care of us, we're going to love them to death. What else do we have here? Color. The color spectacular, okay? Now this is a real easy thing to do a file blitz on 6 months down the road. We can shoot these out to anybody that's ever been in the salon and give them a color special. Now, I don't know if any of you know Nora, but she's here today. And she is gonna be in charge of color. She's gonna be working with you. She'll bring you in some goal sheets and some graphs, and you'll learn about graphs later on. So she's gonna be the person that if you have any questions on color or need any help, you just call her. And I know that some of us already know how knowledgeable she is. I know we had an experience here Saturday. Just made one phone call and bang, Zoom, got the job done, right? So that's gonna take some of your fear away from color. And she's gonna be starting next week. She'll be visiting all of you and working with you on a weekly basis. She'll be talking to every one of you every week. That's another thing you need to know, okay? In any kind of meeting that you have, okay? Your Saturday meetings every week should be looked at as positive sales approach. This is the way salespeople think. They look forward to sales meetings, okay? That's what your meeting's gonna be every Saturday, a sales meeting, so look forward to it. Your manager will be meeting with you once every week for about a half hour. Look forward to that time, because that's feedback time. Sit down and see how you're doing. I mean, if you're really serious about being a salesperson and a hair cutter and a professional, that's something to look forward to. How am I doing? Let's see. Instead of being all negative about it. Saying, well, I think I'm doing good. Why do I have to listen to this shit? Okay? Because that's what happens. It's bad news. You can't grow that way. It's impossible. Keep fighting growth all day long. And then you take it with you and you carry it out the whole day. Sometimes it ruins a whole week. Sometimes it even makes somebody else feel bad too. You share your feelings with them. Now, VIC Club. You want to explain it?
Just bring it up, and when Don comes in, I'll go through the whole routine.
Okay. We've got some laminating machines, and we're missing the pouches, so the company that we bought them from is gonna drop them off here any minute. When he does, Fred will take the time out and explain to everybody right here how to use them. This is a VIC Club. Anybody got any guesses what it stands for?
Very important for
Right, very important client, very important customer, that type of thing, okay? Along with this, this is what they get. Okay, on the back it tells you, they get a free haircut every 7th time, complimentary service. In other words, you're saying, thank you for patronizing our place of business. Thank you very much, we appreciate it. And here's what I'm gonna do to show you. Give you a complimentary haircut this time. Now, some of you that are on commission, okay, may be saying, why do I have to do a free haircut? That's no fair. Okay, it's not fair. If you're a sales-minded person, you'd be looking for free haircuts all day long. Okay? But 9 times out of 10, when we start doing the free haircuts, which probably won't be for another year because we're just starting them now, or 7 months from now, you may only do a couple a day at the most. If you're on commission, you might have that feeling, well, that's no fair. Why should I have to do this? Okay. Well, if you look at it in a sales approach, you've got a customer there that's feeding you all year round, taking care of you, liking you, coming in. Okay. Salesperson loves that. Okay. They like to take care of the people. If you're sales-minded, it'll be all right with you. Now, if you still can't be sales-minded, and for some reason you're still lurking around at Mario's Hair Company without a sales mind on you, and you get a customer and you feel like it's not fair type of thing, well, you can look at it this way. Okay? Your commission more than likely will be 50 or 55% on that $7 haircut, okay? Which will give you $3.50 at the most. Out of that $3.50, you gotta take taxes out on it when it goes on your paycheck. Okay, so you might wanna look at it as, hey, 9 times out of 10, the guy might give me a $2 or $3 tip, which he normally wouldn't give me, and it's tax-free. And I made a customer happy, and, you know, still got something out of it, and I feel real good because he's gonna keep coming back to me. Now, those of you who are gonna choose to be on hourly, okay, with commission override, not gonna make any difference to you whether it's free or not, okay? So you don't even have to concern yourself with the no fairness and that kind of thing. Just be doing the haircut. Any questions on that? Does that make sense to you guys? Or?
I got a question. Who is
Shoot.
it that gets these cards? Does everybody get one of these cards? How do
Well,
you
Fred was
determine?
gonna explain that to you.
Oh, that's my
but-
question.
What we'll have, okay, what you'll be doing is, after you develop a relationship with the customer, okay, customer comes in, first question, okay, and your managers already know this, and they'll be talking to you too. First question you wanna ask them when you get them in the chair is this your first time here at Mario's? Okay, now, if you've seen them come in before, you don't have to ask them. Just say, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you again, whatever, okay? But if it's their first time in, you know, they're gonna fill out a card, and even people that haven't been in the first time are gonna fill out a card. Until after you get 6 months down the road, they're gonna say, yes, I've been in here before, and you'll know they got a card on file, okay? And if you can't find their card in there, you say, do you have a card on file? Did you fill one out last time, or whatever? Okay? Well, they may be one of those people that said, well, I don't want to, okay, and they got a haircutter that says, well, the reason why we have to is because we have to. He said, well, I don't want to. Okay, so it might be one of those people. But after you get them in the chair and you ask them that question, okay, you need to have them fill out a card and then start working the customer handling system on them that you don't know about yet. Okay, Todd's gonna read that to you, okay? And I'll stop him while he's reading.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
a question? Like when they come back second or third time, does this card still stay there, or do you
Yeah,
take the
you
first
keep-
one out? And
You keep filling it out as they come in.
I know, but
Color.
are they gonna have, oh, different colors?
What do you mean, different colors?
So like in a year, maybe they're gonna have like 12, right?
You're talking about this card?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say a guy comes in tomorrow and you did him. You'd fill out all the information, and then 2 months from now he comes in and Debbie gets him. Well, she fills out all the information, so we know that Debbie did them. the last time.
But you'll take the red tab off and put the blue on.
Oh,
Right.
okay, I thought we got a different card every time.
No,
No, it's a button to be put on there. I don't have them with me, they're just, you've probably seen them, little round label buttons.
Isn't it gonna be hard to find them
no.
No, because you'll fold them right over the top of this card.
in like, alphabetical order?
Yeah, you'll have a complete file system there, much better than the one you have right now.
What if they're snowbirds? You know
Snowbirds?
they're gonna be gone. 9
Mark
months.
that on the back.
Yeah, mark that on the back.
Right. Good idea, Vivian. Good thought. Any type of information that you know will matter to the computer, write it down so that when it's called in, if she brought up a good point, they're a snowbird, or somebody that's just passing through, like a truck driver from Albuquerque, New Mexico, that happened to be driving down Indian School. Okay? Write that down, but still haven't filled out a card. Write it down. Now, I was talking about the VIC club cards, wasn't I? What you have to do on that.
Why don't you explain what non-transferable means in case there's anybody that doesn't know?
Okay, non-transferable means that once well, let me explain the whole card first, okay? Now, after they fill out the card and you work the customer handling system with them, which basically is just being real super professional and super nice and accommodating and giving them styling tips and making them feel warm, welcome, and comfortable, that's all it really is. You've developed a relationship in 10 minutes with that person. As you develop the relationship and you go up front, you will say, we have something different here, okay? It's called VIC Club. Would you like me to tell you about it? It involves some special things and I'd like you to be part of it, okay? And then you show them. Okay? It's a VIC Club, there's $1 in membership for this, okay? And what that dollar really covers are those pouches, which cost 50 cents, and the card. Okay, the printing on the card, what it's covering. There's really no membership fee, we have to make that coverage, okay? But it's $1. What they get, free haircut every 7th time around, 20% discount on retail products all the time, and 20% discount on regularly priced chemical services, okay? We'd like to be a part of that. Now, Fred's been talking about it for a month in here. He has not had one person, they want to sign up right here. Right now, where's the card? Give me it. So you shouldn't have any problem getting people signed up on this. There'll be a laminating machine up front, and do you have your card there?
I have a sample that it'll look like.
That's what laminating looks like. So you're gonna learn how to run that machine today. You'll have it right up front, you'll laminate it right on the spot. So we don't just give them a flimsy card and it gets wet and they wash it. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know if you turn the air or something.
Somebody, they can't pass it on to somebody else. That's what non-transferable means.
What do you ask for the driver's license when you get it?
No,
But you know, how will you know somebody else?
They'll be on file.
Yeah, but how do you know that somebody just didn't hand their card to somebody
Well,
else?
then you don't know, and then they get away with it. But it just says it on
Very
there.
few people that's gonna do it.
I mean, we're not FBI agents,
I know.
but, somebody, it's just a statement, that's all, non-transferable. Some people may wanna go out of their way to be against that, I don't know, and say, okay, I'm gonna give it to somebody. If they do, fine, take care of them.
Yeah.
So
People usually don't do that.
the ways
I'm
are like
this lady,
coupons anyway.
her mom's
What
permit.
happens is I've had some people make their own rules up as they go along, which is bad, okay? You have to be accommodating to the customer. You're gonna have customers come in and try to finagle coupons and, I've had them to where we've had them stacked up on the desk and the customer come up and sneak one out. We've seen them right in here, right? Sneak one out and try to, give it to one of their kids. Give them this when you get your haircut. Fine, let them do it. What are you gonna do, put a rope around their neck and kick them up against the wall because they did something bad? Take care of them.
And they'll even look at the desk, look underneath there, anywhere.
Oh,
Right.
they have, they came right up to the desk when we go over to get one.
Anybody have any questions so far?
I have one more question. Are you still gonna give out the flyers that have like $4 off? The
Yeah.
haircut and the perm
The
and
inside flyers.
the
Yeah, we still will have those. Yes.
That's for the new customers who keep attracting customers.
The inside flyers that you always have up front, you'll still have those.
Yeah, but somebody that's already got one of these cards, you wouldn't have to give them an inside flyer, 'cause they already have
No.
one of these.
Absolutely.
It's like a permanent one, right?
Right.
That they can use every time.
Yeah.
exactly.
Because they can't use two coupon or discount type deals together, right?
Right. That was a good question. Whoever asked that. Anybody else have any questions so far? No? All right, let's see what we've covered here so far. Let me check it off.
Mario,
Yeah.
on the percents off of the haircuts and everything, would you please, can we do it real quick, like go over what's 10% off of a haircut?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll hear that.
All right, I've got that jotted down for one of the things I was gonna talk about later, but we can talk about it now.
Okay, just show us how to use the calculator, come up with
You don't
the
need the
percent.
calculator, really. Here are things that I was gonna talk about entitled What Not to Do, okay? And one of the things on there is to not look bad up front, okay? And what happens is, a customer will be standing there and they'll hand you a 20% off coupon, and it stuns you, and you look bad. And then you turn around to somebody else and you say, what's 20% off of $3.95? And then that person says, I don't know. Okay, so we got two haircutters looking bad. What do you think the customer thinks? Right. So, my point is this. If there's anybody that doesn't know what 20% off is, 10% off, or any other thing that coincides with needing to know up front, anything that you need to know, go learn how. Somehow.
There's
Now, I'll give you a
also a-
simple, hang on, I'll give you a simple 20% way. It's real easy to figure out what 10% is of something, right? Anybody have any problem with that? Just double it. Okay, 10% of,
10 cents on a dollar, 20 cents on a dollar.
right. But if, if you need a calculator, that's what you need. Have one up there. Make sure that the salon has a calculator up there. Do whatever you can to not look bad or confused. Right, we've got one of these things here tacked right on here that says 20%.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Looks just like that. Has everything.
Put that up
Yeah, we can stick it right back there. Maggie, did I cover that okay for you?
Prices. I didn't I shop
The numbers that you need to know. I'm gonna talk for, while we're on this, I was gonna do it later, we'll do it now. Things not to do in front of customers, and not to do to customers. And I'll just go right down my list here. One thing, we did a survey by making phone calls and talking to people on what they didn't like the most out of coming into a haircut salon. Not Mario's Hair Company. Fred will get it. We talked to people on the telephone, we talked to them in person, and the question that we asked them was, if there was something you could change when you go get a haircut, what would it be? And we weren't talking about Mario's Hair Company, because most of the people we talked to did not go to Mario's Hair Company. They went to other places. Okay? But what they said, the number one thing they said, was that they didn't like it. They felt very uncomfortable when a stylist was working on them and another stylist came up and started talking about things that they had going on or something that they did the night before type thing. That's the number one thing that upset them the most. They wanted that to feel comfortable and have the stylist give them 100% attention. And when, another stylist, can I use an example that happened in here Saturday? You don't mind, right? Okay. Bonnie was doing a color. Okay, here's an example. To make it a rule not to say anything. When you see your fellow salesperson working a sale on a customer, because if I was working a sale on a customer and somebody came up to me, let's just say, let's forget the haircut business. Let's say I was selling an automobile inside of a dealership and I was working a customer, trying to get him to sign. And that's what you're doing. You're trying to get him to sign to make your salon his place of business. And another car salesman come up to me and say, hey Mario, what are we going to do tonight? I turn around and say, get the hell out of here. Leave me alone, I'm working. right? That's what people hate the most. The people hate it. Now you sales-minded people should hate it too. If you really become sales-minded, that should bother you. You know, if you were working on a customer and I came up to you right there, Shirley, what are you gonna do this weekend? Or guess what I did? Or guess what? Okay? And you stop what you're doing with that customer and start talking to me. They hate it. They hate that. That bothers them. They don't say nothing, but that's the answer to the question that I asked. Came out more so than anything. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So you gotta not do that. If you're doing it now, get out of the habit. Because it's a bad habit and it's unprofessional.
What are other soaps they sell?
I got that, but we'll go through that. Oh, I was gonna tell you about what happened with Angel. Okay, Bonnie was doing a color in here on a lady, okay? And Angel, I don't want you to feel bad about this.
Oh, that's
'cause
all right.
You sure?
Hey,
Because I won't say it.
that's
You
all
don't
right.
want to. Okay, this is no big deal. We all do it. I've done it. Okay, that's how I learned not to do it. I did it. Bonnie had gotten her hair colored, what, last week or something?
Date the night before.
Night before. Okay, so she had a color in her chair. And Angel was standing right here, okay? And she, what'd you say? Looks
It looks
like
darker
it's
than we thought it was gonna be.
darker than what I thought it was gonna be.
I'm doing blonde and so.
Right. So Bonnie gets all freaked out. She's looking at the customer, and the customer starts getting all freaked out. You know, Bonnie's looking at the customer, you mean?
This is
you know, 'cause
after I
she
did the
thought
color.
Angel was talking about the customer's hair. But she meant Bonnie's hair. To where she really shouldn't have said anything. Because Bonnie had a customer. But see, she didn't know that yet. And there's a lot of you guys in here that don't know that yet. But you know it now. Never bother anybody when they're making a sale. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Leave them alone. Let them work their own deal,
Well, I mean,
their
I
own sale.
quickly also explained to that lady, oh,
Yeah,
she's-
but you had to take 5
Yeah.
minutes to
yes,
explain it.
because I thought she got freaked out,
Yeah.
because she freaked me
You've done a
out.
fine job here at Mario's Hair Company. I want you to know that. And while we're going through this right now, I don't want you to think that you haven't done a fine job. And the people that came in late, you know, might have missed what I said about the reasons why. And maybe later on we'll let you watch the tape and find the reasons why. But, you know, you guys really have done a fine job with what you've had to work with. You get what I'm saying? Now you're gonna have a lot to work with. So if you're a sales-minded person, you'll do fantastic, believe me. You can really stick to it. Another thing not to do is to leave the customer uninformed. Okay? Example. Let's say that we're working along, we're busy, and there's 4 or 5 people waiting for haircuts. Okay? Got 4 or 5 people waiting in the lobby for haircuts. And you're busy and you've been working right along, okay? And you go up to the front and you're cashing somebody out and you're signing them up for the VIC club and all that kind of stuff, you know, and getting their file card set where it's supposed to be and you're feeling real good and everything. And there's 4 or 5 people waiting there and you just spin right around and start walking to the back. Okay? And in your mind you're thinking, I'm gonna sweep my area, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta go back and tie my shoes, whatever, okay? You left the customer uninformed. That guy, whatever his name was, let's call him George, he was next in line up there. Next in line, he's been waiting for a half hour. You just got done with the customer and turned around and walked away. Where he's sitting and his knees are going like this, he can't wait. Well, am I next? I thought it was next. Is she gonna do a haircut? Where'd she go? That's what's going through his mind. Okay? What's going on here? Okay? So if you have to go to the bathroom, you acknowledge that customer first. That's what the point I'm trying to get across. Don't leave a customer uninformed. If you want to sweep your area, but first say, George, you were next, I'll be right with you. I'm just gonna go back and sweep up the area a
I
little bit.
want to say another thing. All the salons get really crowded, especially, you know, on Saturdays and when we're up there. I don't like to see, you know, 4 of us up there at the same time. I would rather just sit and wait my customer 1 minute in the chair and let it clear up at the front desk instead of us all piling on one another. Excuse me, you know, move and hurry,
Right.
I'm in a hurry, this and that. Just wait a minute with your customer, just maybe hold their shoulders or something and say, you know, why don't we wait a few minutes here until the front desk
Absolutely,
clears
good
up.
point. And because, you know why, it looks bad.
Yes, it does.
It looks unorganized, and then what's happening up there when you get 4 people, that's when they
It's
really don't know what
confusion.
20% off
That's,
is.
you know, yeah, that's where you get shortages and things like that, because you're afraid and you get nervous and you hand out the wrong money, and that's what happens.
Good point. That's just another thing not to do for your notes. If you're taking notes on this, that's another thing not to do. Not just at Mario's Hair Company, anywhere. It's not professional. All the things we're talking about are not professional. And that's one thing that hair cutters don't get enough of, professional ethics. I happen to be lucky and got them at a young age. When I started out 20 years ago, that was still in the textbooks, professional ethics. Now, another thing is sitting in the lobby with the customer. Any of you is guilty of doing that? That's not professional. You are, yeah.
You got me.
Right. That is something not to do, because it's not professional. If you go to the doctor's office, does he come out and sit in the lobby with you and read the sports section, have coffee? I don't think so. How about the dentist? If you go into a dentist where they have 3 or 4 dentists, do they all come out in the lobby and sit down? Not professional. So if you consider yourself a professional salesperson, don't do that. Morning.
Morning, Mario. How are you?
Pretty good.
How are you guys?
Okay, for yourself.
You know how to work it. Things not to do. Everybody ready? Undivided attention, please. More on things not to do. What happened to my pen, Fred? Check. Never ever, in front of a customer, ask somebody if they want to do a haircut. Let me give you an example of what I mean, okay? Let's say you're up front at the front desk, customer comes in, and I've seen this happen many times. It has to end. Customer's standing there, and the hair cutter goes, "Can I help you?" Customer says, "Yeah, I want a haircut." Okay. And then the hair cutter says, "What's your name?" And they go down here and they write the name down. "Okay, George, we'll be with you in just a minute, okay?" And then they turn around and they look and they say, "Did you want to do a haircut?" And then the hair cutter says, "Well, I got one coming in 5 minutes." Okay, and then they turn around and they say, "Did you want to do a haircut? You're up. Did you want to do it?" "Yeah, I'll do it." And then they walk up to the customer and guess what they do? They say, "Can I help you?" The customer says, "Yeah, I want a haircut." And then guess the next thing they say. "What's your name?" "Oh, George." How many times you seen that happen?
All the time.
Bad news. Don't do it no more. If you got a customer coming in 3 minutes that's going to get a perm, and you're standing up that front desk, you take that customer that came in. Every time. Because if the person that's up, or supposed to be up, if you want to call it ups, if that person isn't there, too bad. They're not there to greet the customer 100%, take that customer. You don't have to write their name down if it's not busy. That's another thing we do. We get in a bad habit of writing names down all the time. What?
Okay, what if, whoever went to the front had a customer, so, then how do you take it from there then? Do you find
If
out?
they had a customer?
Yeah, for instance, if I had a customer and somebody walks in and I go and help them, so do I just kinda like go to a stylist and?
You mean if the other stylists aren't doing anything?
Yeah, sort of, well,
Well, the manager should be there to make sure they're ready. okay? Managers should be there to make sure they're ready. There should be no lurking and lingering around the back room. Huh? I'm not talking about handshakes yet, okay, but I will. Okay. So we don't wanna do that. We don't wanna turn around and ask somebody else if they wanna do a haircut. If you have an appointment coming in 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, take that customer. And when your appointment comes in, if they were really waiting for you, you will look more successful in front of that person, for one thing. They think, well, hey, you know, they're pretty good hairstylists there, they're busy, I gotta wait. That's what people think. Believe me, I know, I do surveys all the time on that kind of stuff. So, you're missing out on money, you're looking bad, you're making other people look bad, and you're working away from having a sales mind. Professional sales mind. That's not how professional salespeople think. They take whatever they can get at any moment in time. They take it because it adds to their paycheck. It adds to their repertoire. It adds to their bondage. It adds to their return business. It adds to so many things the more people they get. So let's don't ever see that going on again, ever. Does anybody have any questions about that, or?
No, but you've got these people also that says, well, I had an appointment right at 3 o'clock or whatever the time. And you've got, says now I've gotta wait 15 more minutes until you're done with this person?
Okay, you're gonna
So
have,
what are you gonna tell
you're gonna
your
have
regular
people
person?
that are gonna do that. Very few, but you're gonna have some.
Cause I've had that happen a
Okay?
couple times.
And if you have that, that's when the next hairstylist should step in and say, well, hey, I'd be happy to take care of you. That way you won't have to wait. I'd be happy to take care of you.
And
Okay, we're all in this together.
No,
Okay.
alright. And I mean, the difficult thing, say, no, forget it, I wanted so-and-so to do it.
Okay?
Alright, so they say me. They say, no, I want Bonnie to do it, and I gotta wait 15 minutes, why didn't you tell me on the phone and put me 15 minutes later? And they get real irate, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have
a couple
people like
times,
that,
that's what I'm
but-
saying.
Right, you're gonna have people like that, but that's 1 out of 10. So you can't base the whole principle on that one person.
No, I'm not,
Most
but I
people
mean,
would think
as
that,
far
hey,
as
Bonnie
for
must be pretty
anybody
darn good
to
if I gotta wait
handle,
a few extra minutes.
you know.
Okay.
Can't you
How
just
to handle
explain that, you know, that you were really busy or whatever, and you were the only one open, and this person came in, and I'm sorry that you have to wait, but it's just gonna be a few minutes till I finish, or,
Yeah,
you know,
whatever.
whatever.
Just anything to
Exactly, or,
pacify
you
the
know, buy you a
customer and make
Coke
them
while
feel
you're
good.
waiting, or give them a good magazine, or
Right.
offer to buy them a soda, or.
I've never been in a doctor's or dentist's office yet, where I got right in. Never.
Always a half hour.
Never once have I ever got right in. Always had to wait. And I get irritated. I'm an impatient person. And I'll go up and ask, and I'll say, I'm the type of person you're talking about, the 1 out of 10. I'll go up and say, hey, my appointment was 8:30, what's going on? And they'll pamper the heck out of me, and I like that. Okay, I'm one of those 10 people.
Oh, I mean, I take care of mine, I'm just saying how to handle somebody that would do that.
But I want you to understand that that really, really looks bad to the customer. That is worse. What I'm talking about is worse than having a customer upset about their appointment. It's worse to look bad in front of a customer and have 2 people come up and say, take their name, 2 people come up and say, can I help you? And 2 people do everything. That looks so bad, it's just terrible. I wanna get out of here when I see that happen.
Mario, what if they want a shampoo, haircut, blow dryer, or perm? They're gonna, you can't, I can cut a head of hair, usually 10, 15 minutes, haircut. That's fine.
Yeah,
But if they
do
want-
it.
Then you just have to say, you have to wait a few minutes.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Get it going. You'll look much more successful
You
to
want
9
me to go
out of 10
ahead and do
people.
a shampoo, haircut? blow
Absolutely,
dryer?
absolutely.
I can do that, that'd take me a half hour.
Fantastic. But your customer will have to wait about 25 minutes.
Mario?
Yeah, unless somebody else, I'll guarantee you one thing, if I was working in the salon and you had an appointment at 12 o'clock and you took a shampoo, haircut, and blow dry, and I went up to that customer and said to him, Vivian's gonna be tied up for a while, I'll tell you what, I'll take care of you. And I'd have so much confidence raining right on me, the guy said, well, what the hell, let's do it. Okay, guarantee you that, no question about it. So if everybody was sales-minded and professional-minded, they'd have that same array of confidence to be able to do the same thing. That's teamwork. That is teamwork, and getting the job done. Anybody want to, go ahead.
Yeah, when you're calling people back, I have, for example, I had this lady the other day.
I'm not going to tell you about every call. Okay, that may be one call that will not even be discussed. Okay, we're not dumb. When we get on the phone, believe me, I know this business like the back of my hand, and the people that patronize the business also like the back of my hand. I've been in this for 20 years, so I know when something's legitimate and when it's not. And the person that I've trained on the telephone is the same way. And they'll be making the phone calls, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll know.
So there's always the exceptions too. I mean, we got a couple crazies that come over to Peoria.
Sure, get off the professional track. Ever.
They take them away.
Yeah, I went ahead and did it, I told her, you know, if you feel more comfortable about doing it that way, then I'll do it that way. Myself, I don't feel as comfortable doing it, I didn't tell her that, but, you know, I did it in the way that I'm not as comfortable doing, but she still did it and, you
Right,
know.
you did the best you could. A lot of times you have to adapt and adjust accordingly to get the customer satisfied. Some people might come in, here's a simple example. Just say, they might come in the shop and say, I want a haircut, but I don't want it wet. Okay, so some hairstylists say, I don't cut hair not wet. Well, the answer to that question is cut it. Whether it's wet, dry, whatever it is, cut it and make that customer happy.
I just had one secretary.
Did you?
But then don't you explain to them how they do get
Don't
a
even
much
bother.
better haircut when
Don't
it's
even
shampooed?
bother, cut it, make them happy. You don't have to explain anything to them. Cut it and make them happy.
I went it down, I've had a customer like that, I'll put her under the dryer, she's a regular customer of mine, no charge, you know, dry her hair, cause she's, you know, getting a little cold or something, you know.
Yeah, I do the same thing sometimes. Well, what I'm talking about is some people will come in and they think that they can get a better haircut without you wetting it. To cut it dry. And, you know, if some of you guys are stuck on cutting wet hair, get unstuck and cut it whatever way they want it. Make them happy. Because it's only one. And I've said this at other seminars. Always remember, if you have a bad experience in the chair, it only lasts for 10 minutes. Okay? So you got to make the best out of it. Kill people with kindness and stay on your professional track. And after that 10 minutes is over with, you got something to look forward to. The next customer, which could be the greatest experience of the day. So don't die and thrive on bad experiences. They go away with the next customer. Another thing I want to talk about, what not to do, is talk about numbers in front of customers. Some of you guys I see up front by the register pulling the thing out, okay, looking at it, let's see, adding it all up, that looks real bad in front of customers. They're thinking, well, geez, who the hell do they think they are? Counting all their money or what? You know, or even this one, when you come up and a hair cutter is working on another customer and go up and say, guess what I did? I did 4 perms today. Or go up to the manager or something while they're working on something and guess how much retail I sold? That's no good. It's not professional. You ever see a dentist come out in the lobby and talk to people and say, I pulled 2 teeth in 1 hour? They don't do that. It's not professional. Or I did 3 operations this week and I made $5 grand. They don't do that. It's not professional. It's in the book of ethics. You don't do that. You never want to, and it's just as bad as standing around saying how rotten you did. Okay? Because what's the customer going to think? If you're standing around moping against the wall and saying, I only did 2 cuts today. This place is terrible today. It's dead in here. And a customer hears that, what are they going to think of you? You're a loser. Why am I in this place? You only did 2 haircuts. I'm an oddball. I shouldn't be here. Right? So there's a lot of professional ethics that no one's ever been taught in this business. And it's human nature to say those things. It's human nature. So you have to go through the school of ethics. You don't do that. You never talk business in front of a customer. You only talk product, what you got to offer. You don't let them know your personal life. You don't let them know how many haircuts you did or how many you didn't do or how many perms you did. You just don't do that. So if any of you are guilty of that, don't be guilty of it anymore. It's bad. And you have to trust me on these things. I know, through my own experience. Okay, we talked about looking bad and that type of thing. Let's talk about looking confused. You don't ever want to look confused, ever, in front of anybody, okay? And that, we can spend the whole day talking about it, but we're only going to spend a minute. One example is what we talked about before, you know, you know, like Maggie brought up, having 4 people up front, okay? That's looking bad, it's looking confused. You got 4 people, let's see, what do I got? The pens, and the customer's standing there thinking, do these people know what they're doing here? That's what they think. Guarantee you that. I've had comments, I've had phone calls, people call me up on the office line. They won't call your salon, they'll call another place and say, I want to talk to the owner. And then they'll give them the number of the office. And then Diane will get it, and then she'll get all frustrated and give it to me. And that's the type of comments I hear. Those people don't know what they're doing. I'll tell you that right now. You better get on down there. That's the kind of talk I get on the phone. Sometimes. I get good phone calls too. I had a good phone call the other day. Who was it? It was on you, Sheila. Okay, somebody called me up and said, I'll tell you, I went into your place and Sheila took care of me and I just loved her. You know, she treated me fantastic and gave me a real good haircut type of thing, and that's what we'd like to hear. And that's what this whole customer handling system's all about, is that. So you don't want to look confused. You don't want to look confused when you're doing a service. Let's take color, for instance. You don't want to look confused. You can be confused, but don't look confused. As soon as you start finding yourself wanting to look confused, get out of the mirror area and go look confused over there. Okay? And then get your confusion all together and then go back to the mirror area with eye contact. Or go in the back and make a phone call. Find out where Nora is. Okay? Or if it's a perm, talk to your manager. All the managers that we have are, you know, they've been doing perms for years. Todd can do them blindfolded, looking up in the air and rent perms. So, if it's a weird type haircut, step away. Find somebody that's done a few of them. Talk to them. Ask for their help. Okay? Even if you have to introduce them to the customer. Be professional. John, this is Melody. She's a manager here. She's going to go ahead and do your haircut because I'm really, you know, I haven't done a whole lot of those type of haircuts. She's done so many of them, you know, it's unbelievable, and she'll do you a real good job. And step away and let, you know, the confusion be somewhere else.
You know,
And
that's
I know
like,
that you've all experienced that.
like what Maggie said, there's a lot of people up on the desk. Another good thing that, you know, everybody could do, say it was time for you to go up and you just really didn't have much more to say to that person, but you talked about the products a little bit. That's a good time to get them over to the product shelf. I mean, it'll take, you know, they're gonna be up there anyway, waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And there, everything is, it's a good time to, this is what I talk,
Exactly.
you know,
Right.
talk about. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times they'll buy it then.
Anybody has any questions on retail? Okay? Some of you do real good in retail and some of you don't. There's going to be a minimum requirement, okay, in every aspect of the business. And I'll tell you what it's going to be. Okay? Let's say somebody comes in tomorrow, starts working here. The entry level minimum requirement for services and perms and everything put together is $380. It's not very much. That's entry level. That's somebody that's just starting. They don't know nothing, okay, about Mario's Hair Company. They don't know the customer handling system that we have. They know nothing. And neither do you guys at this point. That's entry level. Retail is $15 a week. I could bring my son in here and just stand around, and he could sell $15 a week in retail. I'll guarantee you that. I bet every dime I have on that statement. Just by standing there and holding it. He'd sell $15 a week. You know what $15 a week is?
3 bottles.
Right. Yeah, 3 bottles. Some of us have a hard time doing that. It's not that we have a hard time doing it, we just don't do it. There's no hard time at all, we just simply don't do it. We're not even creating a hard time, we're just not doing nothing. That's why you come up with a 0 or a 249 or something like that, because you really didn't do anything in that department. So the minimum requirement at entry level is going to be $15 a week in retail. We're working off percentages this year. Your daily sheets will be based on percentage. You'll add your perm and color together, and it'll be a percentage. The minimum requirement for people coming in is 10%. Chemical service. That's what we expect. 10%. Which means this. $380. What's 10% of that? $38 in perm and color. That's a minimum requirement. It's hardly anything. It's doing 1.5 perms. Or 1 perm at the regular price with a haircut. That's minimum requirement for entry-level people. After 3 months, it's $450. If somebody can't be doing $450 in service totals after 3 months, they might as well get out of the business completely. That's the way I look at it. You're better off to be working somewhere where you don't have to be concerned about making money. $25 would be the minimum requirement in retail after 3 months. So just put yourself wherever this is for you. Been here 3 months, $25 in retail. Minimum requirement. 20% chemical service. So what's 20% of 450?
90.
That's right, 90. So what's that mean? It means a couple of perms, a couple colors. Not very hard to do. In fact, it should be real easy now with Nora. She'll be at your beck and call every day inside the salon. She'll be off on Sunday and Monday, right? You know what we said? Sunday and Monday.
Well, what happens if something happens on those days? Do you have
Oh,
a fever or
man.
something where we can get you?
Oh,
Are we gonna have your own phone number? Should already have it.
6 month minimum requirement, $500 total in services. That's a minimum requirement. In 6 months' time, standing behind the chair, from the day one being dealt 35 to 45 people a week, if you can't come up with $500, there's something wrong. And you'll see that after you see our customer handling system. If you can't make $500, there's something wrong. Either the manager's not seeing you, okay, not follow the customer handling system, or something tricky's going on. Because there's definitely a problem. $35 minimum requirement in retail after 6 months. Okay. And 25% chemical service. And your retail will be calculated in percentages too, on the daily sheets. And as we go through the handbook, and Todd's gonna read that too, you'll see that before you go home every day, you're gonna have to sign what you did for that day, so that there's no confusion there anymore either. And then also with the backboard and that type of thing, and then you'll have your graphs that you'll fill out once a week, which you don't know about yet either. After 1 year, $550 minimum requirement. Now that's not bad. To me, that's being lazy, $550. If I spent a year right there, if I spent a year standing right here, and after 1 year, I was taking in the same thing I took in the first week on a job, and that's happened here. We've had people been here for 2 years taking in the same thing they took in the first week on a job. And you know, to take in $500 a week only takes 18 hours of your time. That's all it takes, 18 hours of work. There's 22 hours left that people aren't doing anything. So if I spent a year, and I started out my first week making $300 or $350, and a year later I'm still taking up $350, I'd be ashamed of myself. I wouldn't even want to show face. Then I'd have to go home and tell my wife, and she'd say, well, how much did you take in? Well, same thing I took in the first week. She'd say, what are you doing? I don't know. Guess I don't care. And that's the case. Just don't care. But if you're a sales-minded person, you'll care. You want to make that money. So those are the minimum requirements. Just put yourself into that picture if you're taking notes, because it's not in the handbook. And when you sit down with your manager once a week, they'll help you. If you're having a hard time with it, the first thing a manager's going to do is train you on how to reach these figures. And if you're going to fight it by saying, well, I think I'm doing good, then it's a waste of time. Nobody can say anything to you. So those are the minimum requirements. If you're not there, please let the manager help you and find out what you're doing that's causing you not to reach those levels. Don't take it so defensively. It should be productive times when you sit down with your manager. It should be great times, not bad times. You should look forward to that because they're going to be your coach. The people that we have managing, by the way, people at 75th Avenue have a new manager starting tomorrow in the field. Tops.
You're gonna be here too?
Yeah. Me and Fred will be here. Fred will be here in the afternoon, I'll be here in the morning. You know where we're going? Finding haircutters in the back room. Hibernation area. There's a section in your handbook that is entitled How to Utilize Downtime. Did you see that yet there? How to utilize downtime. Which will, the back room. Whenever you find yourself going back in there, be scared of it. Okay? On those tapes that you've seen, stylist effectiveness, breeding ground for neurotics. And they are. If you think back, you'll see that it's true. That's where all the negativity flies around in that back room, and all you need is a couple people back there. This place sucks. It's dead around here. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do that? It's not fair. That's what goes on in the back room. We want to eliminate it completely because that's not what salespeople do. We're going to do things that salespeople do. That's what we're going to be doing all year. All the things that salespeople do. That's something they don't do. They don't sit in back rooms.
Mind you, if you're using, like, sometimes when I photograph in the back room or something, we start cleaning or anything, the customer comes in, at least we don't look like, he doesn't come into an empty shop,
Right.
and then somebody will pop out from the back room, it looks like we're all busy doing something,
Yeah.
whether it's cleaning or whatever.
Well, there's a section in there, how to utilize downtime. And I hope that everybody uses that. Because it's very productive. I used to tell people, when I was, working and managing in a salon, back in the early days, when we weren't doing anything, we'd go out and pass out flyers. We just put our tennis shoes on and start walking the streets. We didn't have any customers that day, but when we went home, didn't we feel better? We felt like, hey, at least we did something today. We generated something. Maybe tomorrow will be better. We didn't sit, if we just sat around in the back room crying and complaining about how bad things are, I wouldn't be standing here right now, I'll tell you that. I'd be lost somewhere, working for something, somewhere else. I wouldn't be doing this. So it depends on what you're looking for, what you want. If you want something, get it. You can't get it in the back room. If it's a customer that you're looking for, you won't find them back there. They're not in the drawers. They're out there, lingering around. There's one right out there right now. So there's many ways of accumulating customers. All right, Fred, I'm going to let you, anybody have any questions on anything that I said about what not to do? Anybody want to add any what not to do's? Because those are the things that I thought of, that I see when I go into salons. And not just Mario's Hair Company, I see it everywhere. I go in all the salons, not just our places. I walk in all of them. I'll sit down, have a cup of coffee, read a magazine, and watch, and look, and listen. So it's not just here, it's everywhere. There's a lot of situations when I go into a shop, a lot of times when people are very rude to me. They don't even acknowledge me, that I'm there. And, you see it and hear it. Another thing, that I might want to bring up, when a customer comes in, consider that door, the noise on the door, a little bell. So that he doesn't have to wait 60 seconds. That's a long time, 60 seconds to get said hello to. He counted out 60 seconds to have to stand in the middle of a room. That's a long time to be ignored. That's another thing that I might want to bring up before I turn it over to Fred here. Managers, and this is all part of customer handling here. The managers are going to be picking out 2 or 3 people that have never been in Mario's Hair Company every week and having to fill out one of these. And these questions are based on the customer handling system. How strong was the quality of your stylist's greeting? Okay, we're talking about customer handling system now. Okay, think. Did your stylist make you feel welcome and comfortable? That's a question they'll be filling out. New people. There'll be 2 or 3 a week that your manager will select. And when you see this thing in their hand, they'll have it right in their hand when they sit in your chair. And when you have your meetings, you'll know, your manager will tell you. Salon policy. Anytime you see one of these roaming around in a customer's hand, you make it a point to just go up to them and say, hi, how you doing? Make it a point. And you might wanna get into a habit of doing that with everybody that's not sitting in your chair. You don't just have to talk to people that are in your chair, talk to everybody. Say hello to them, warm and welcome. Next question, how much effort did your stylist put into discovering what you wanted and needed? Think, did your stylist ask questions about how you style your hair? Any problems you have with it? How you wanted it cut? What you use on your hair? That's part of customer handling system. Hi,
Howdy.
what do you got, pop?
I just checked.
Solve problems. That's a question. Think, did your stylist recommend chemical service, styling techniques, or products to solve a particular problem? That's part of a customer handling system that we're gonna talk about in just a little while that can't be done with 1 out of 10 people. It's gotta be done with everybody. Even people that you see all the time, there's always problems to find. Every time, you know, I've been doing haircuts on people, and so has Fred, for 9 years. And we still find problems that they have, right? Little corners there, cutting them different, that kind of thing, there's all kinds of problems. How effective was your stylist in suggesting services, products, and referrals? We'll talk about that later. Send you some customers. What was your overall feeling about the quality of the salon experience? Think, were you in competent hands? That's a big thing with people. Am I in competent hands? Does this person know what they're doing? Was the salon atmosphere professional? Were you treated like a guest? This is what 3 new people a week will fill out in your salon. And when you see this in their hand, make a little alarm go off. We got ourselves a new customer. Through somehow, some way, we got a new customer. Okay? The little alarm goes off. Everybody goes up and says hello. And I don't mean all at once. Hi! I don't mean that. I mean very warm and natural. And you guys have seen me, you know, walk through here while you're doing a perm and just go up and touch somebody. How's it going? Okay, and you do the same, because you've been in the business a long time, so you know. Okay, if I got a customer, there's a lot of times Bonnie will come up and say, hey, how's it going? Okay, it makes them feel warm and comfortable and welcome, like you know them. See, some people think they only have to talk to their own customers. They put a label on them. This is my customer. I'm the only one that can look at them. You need something signed?
She's got to take
Okay. Does that make sense to you, what I'm telling you? Very important. People go home with that feeling. They remember that little lady that you had, whoever had in the chair Saturday, just by me coming up to her, that's a thought that went into her brain. And she thought about it when she went home, I guarantee you. Boy, that was a nice man, came by and touched me and said hello. What a nice man. So let's just don't do it to our own customers. And when you see this, it's policy. You gotta go up and say hello. So, like in the beginning when I said, the people that are non-aggressive are gonna have to make a decision. Either gonna step into the twilight zone and start becoming aggressive, or not. And if you're not gonna make it through the system. You gotta be able to use eye contact, you gotta be aggressive, you gotta be happy, you gotta be enthusiastic. That's what salespeople are. And that's what we're gonna be. And we've been through people where I've walked in a salon and watched them look at the floor and say thank you to somebody. Those days are over. If you're in a bad mood or had an argument with a boyfriend or whatever, or a husband, or a situation that happened on the way to work, you have to learn how to be the master of your emotions. That's why I recommend that book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. You have to learn how to do that when you're in business and in the world of sales. I've been in positions where I had partners and I almost had fist fights with them, and the door clicked, and I was standing like this, and I had to turn around and say, hi, how you doing? You have to be the master of your emotions and know what business is. You can't carry those emotions around with you and look at the carpet and try to impress somebody, because that vibration goes home with them. And they'll never come back, no matter how great your haircut was. I was told 15 years ago by somebody who went up to me. I was a good hair cutter, and he said to me, he said, Mario, no matter how great of a hair cutter you are, he said, you know, and you're good. He said, I could send you to New York in the next contest and win a big trophy. He said, I know you can do it. If the people don't like you, they'll never come back. You can have a whole thing of trophies all around you. That's why that little thing I hung up to start with is the most important statement for you to understand. I'm gonna turn it over to Fred now, he's gonna show you how to use it.
We're gonna,
You can turn to page 8 if you wanna follow along. Put your finger and follow along like in school.
What are you gonna do, read the manual or
No,
what?
we're gonna read the customer handling system.
Oh, okay. Now, along with that, there's 2 pink sheets. There's 2 pink sheets in the back of that folder. Pull those sheets out too. That's your point system. No, yeah, 3, I'm sorry. 3. Those pink sheets are what you'll get every week. And you'll get a number of points, and we'll have an incentive system for you on that. The more points you get, more incentive we'll have. We'll always have something.
Tony's missing the third sheet of the pink sheets.
Who filled out her?
Aren't they stapled together?
It's the one that's like that.
The third one by itself.
there's a quality service.
I don't have any others, so you'll just have to let her look at yours. Anyway, but those pink sheets are what you'll get. So get used to seeing those every week. That's customer handling system. That's what we're looking at. And that's what you're gonna be thinking about every day in the haircut shop. Every single day. Those are the most important things that people are looking for, and we're gonna give it to them. So the whole Mario's Hair Company will be based on those sheets. That's your life, right there. If you're gonna be a Mario's Hair Company person, that's your life. Customer handling. Go ahead, Todd.
Okay. Customer handling system. A, just as other retail businesses, Mario's Hair Company is committed to customer services. We consider and treat each customer as the most important portion of our continued success. A trustful and long-lasting relationship must be cultivated in each encounter you have with your client. The following guidelines, when carefully implemented, shall ensure quality services and shall foster a truthful relationship. Good communication skills, verbal, speaking, nonverbal, body language, and extraverbal, and how we say something are keys to utilizing this guide to its fullest. Number 1, greeting the client. First impressions are always extremely important in establishing a respectful rapport with your customer. Nonverbal communication, such as the style of your dress, is important. Mario's Hair Company expects each stylist to greet every client in a cheerful and courteous manner. Number 1, smile. Number 2, eye contact. Number 3, handshake.
Okay, hold it there and handshake. Okay? Hold it at the handshake. Everybody's worried about shaking hands, right? Am I right in saying that? They're all worried about shaking hands. A little fast heartbeat, right? Okay. Let me say this. I don't want everybody walking around saying, "Hi!" That's not what I'm looking for, okay? "Hi, I'm Melody from Welcome to Mark." That's not what we're looking for at all. Anything that's gonna be true has to come from the heart, okay? If it's not in your heart to shake hands with somebody, then don't do it, okay? But I will say this, here's what we're looking for. This is true customer handling. Customer comes in, okay? You get him to the chair, find out who he is, you get him to the chair and you say, "Is this your first time here at Mario's?" And he says, "Yes, it is." "Well, my name's Joe, welcome to Mario's."
You're ready.
Oh, wait, let me just say, handshake, we got that covered, right? Of the day that everybody's gonna be, "Is this your first time here?" And when the customer says yes, that's when you're gonna say, "Well, welcome to Mario's Hair Company, my name's Nancy." Simple as that.
What if it's not the first time?
Then don't, then say, "Well, how's it going?" Okay,
Is there a proper and improper way to shake hands with someone?
well,
I've never been done that.
let me show you.
Their hand. You don't want to give
Yeah,
them
how's
a
it going,
shake.
Ward? We don't want
And then go like this and like that.
right.
All right,
Okay, that's been
You
taken.
don't wanna give them a limb shake like you don't really want it.
Everything's under control.
Okay. Number 4 is the example introduction statement, using your customer's name. Welcome to Mario's Hair Company. Number 5, directing client to station. Example, have a seat and make yourself comfortable. Number 2,
let me stop you there. I'm gonna stop you a lot.
That's all right.
Okay? What that means is don't just say, don't just go on back and say, hey, like that. That means with you. Say, well, come on, follow me. Get him in the chair, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable, spin him around, touch him.
I've noticed a lot of times when people come and sit down in the chair, they don't seem relaxed, they'll sit forward like this.
Yeah.
I'll put my hands on their shoulder and tell them to sit back comfortable.
Right, that's the way to do it. They love to be touched. Go ahead.
number 2, consultation. Is that one more?
Yeah.
Okay, consultation. Stylists should take control and direct the client through an efficient consultation by using pictures or examples. Number 1, opening comments. Number 2, length breakdown questions. Number 3, shape breakdown questions. A, question. B, input. C, feedback. D, confirm.
That's what this is, hanging on the wall, what he just said. Talk about what you're gonna do before you do it, and listen to what they have to say before you do it. And you can do this throughout the whole haircut, okay? And I've given that example to people throughout the years, in order to eliminate the negativity, in the end, you wanna create positiveness during the process. How's that length on the side to you? Well, you can take a little bit more off, okay? Bang, bang, bang. How's it look now? Just right. Okay, so you're getting the yeses throughout the whole process. Before you start, before you even take tools out, this is what's going to be on the wall. This is a powerful statement. This was taken from a survey of complaints that people have. They don't listen to you. So we're putting it on the wall. A powerful, powerful thing on the wall. People see that and they'll love it. And they'll be looking for it, so you gotta give it to them. Okay.
Number 3, shampoo and conditioning. In this portion of the service cycle, the products, their benefits, and a home care program should be discussed and recommended. Number 1, massage and scalp manipulations. Number 2, product demonstration.
Break that.
Next page, number 4, cutting session. Conversation during the cutting session should revolve around the service, what you are doing, how you are doing it, and why. Number 1, client involvement. Number 5, styling session. To ensure continued good results, it is vital to educate the client in styling and care for their new hair design.
There you go. Promise to teach you and give you styling tips. That's going to be on the wall. So they're going to expect it when they come in. Now let's say you're not going to blow dry somebody's hair. You're not going to curl iron somebody's hair. They don't want that service done. You're always mentally, as a salesperson, trying to create a bond with somebody. So you're going to ask them a question. I'm just giving you an example off the customer handling system. How do you handle your hair at home? What do you do? Okay? And they tell you, well, I use a blow dryer. Well, what kind of end result do you look for? Well, I like it to go back, I like it split in the middle, I like it full up in front. Let me give you some tips on how to do that at home. That's what this means. Okay? Now, if you're really looking for that nice, sharp, shiny look, let me show you what you need to get what you're looking for. And there's your retail right there. Now, I work a lot with this mousse, so let me show you how it works. Spray it in your hand. Okay? And you work it through your hair, and it'll create some shine. It'll give you a little more manageability when you start working with your blow dryer. Now, let me show you a blow drying technique. And that's how you do it. That's what styling tips are. Like I said, For non-aggressive people, this is gonna be hard. So you're either gonna have to step into the twilight zone or back off. And just say, I cannot do it. Okay? And, you know, consider career adjustment, because this is a sales business. And you have to be aggressive, believe me. You have to. If you're gonna be successful, you have to be aggressive, and I want everybody to be successful. I wanna see some big-time, what do they call? W-2?
W-4s.
W-2 forms at the end of the year? Right. The things that you're getting this month. I wanna see big time next year.
So number 1 is explain styling tips to the client. Number 2, demonstrate styling tools and aids. Number 6, wrap up. Most importantly, each stylist must become proficient to effectively and gracefully close each sale. This guarantees results from the implementation of the service guidelines. Number 1, closing on retail. Walk to retail rack. Put product in hands. This is what you need. Number 2, hand out card and coupon. Number 7, send off for the customer. Make sure the customer is satisfied before leaving. Number 1, smile. Number 2, handshake. 3, send off statement example. Thank you for coming to Mario's Hair Company. It was a pleasure cutting your hair. We'll see you next time you need a haircut.
Okay, stop right there. I didn't put this on there, okay, but I want you to do this. After you've developed a relationship with the customer, which that's gonna be your ball game. Every single customer, you're gonna develop a comfortable feeling with them so that, you know, there's communication. When you do that, and it's all over with, and you maybe put them on the club or whatever you did with them, okay? You wanna say, we've got something else that we have for you here too. And he's gonna say, what's that? We can set up your appointment now so that you don't have to worry about it. We can set it up for you right now if you're interested in doing that, which will help you to get more people on the books for you. Okay, in other words, it's called pre-booking. Get them set up right there on the spot for their next service, and 5 weeks down the road. So our books now will be adjusted to where you can do that. This week we're gonna do that. You'll have your appointment books all set up in advance. So you wanna ask every customer, when you have that relationship developed with them, you're using your customer handling system, all those things that he just read off. Those are the changes. Can we set you up with your next appointment right now? We can do that here. Some people will love that. Some people will just say no. But you wanna get the ones that love it so that your books are filled. So you don't have to spend time in the back room saying, geez, this place is dead. Because, you know, and you guys ought to know me by now, even if you've only been here for a few months. If you say it's dead, first thing I do is I take a mirror. Look at yourself. What did you do to all those people? So don't ever say it's dead in front of me, because that's what I'll tell you. Take that mirror and put it right in front of your nose.
Or slow.
Right. Don't ever use that lingo in front of me, because that's my answer. Look at yourself. Don't go putting the blame on me. I've done everything. I spent $60,000 this year in advertisement, so don't look at me. Look at yourself. Get the big mirror out. Take a look. Because you've had 50 people a week that you didn't sell retail to, you didn't give them styling tips, they weren't warm and comfortable. Where are they? They're someplace else, across the street, getting their hair cut, giving another haircutter a $5 tip. And we're in the back room saying this place sucks. So, no, I'm not saying that everybody does that. I'm just giving you an extreme example. So don't take me wrong. Go ahead.
Well, I think you just explained it. Number 8 is follow-up. Follow up each customer service by this communication technique. Ask them to pre-book
Well, I did have it
pre-book their
done.
next appointment.
I forgot to do that, and I told Diane to put it on, and she did. I didn't think it was on there. All right, on this guidebook here, did anybody read the front page of it?
Yeah.
Everybody read that to themselves.
What, front page?
Front page, it says guidebook, where it says, welcome to Mario's Hair Company.
Pretty well, right, Brian?
Yeah. Who actually, now be real honest, okay? In all honesty here, who actually feels that way? If you feel that way, raise your hand. I wanna know who actually feels that way. Those are powerful words there. Nobody, right? Well, huh?
Everybody.
You feel that way, but it's really not true, is it? When you analyze it out, the statements, those are what I call mission statements. And they're not true. I'll guarantee you that they're not true. But 6 months from now, I want them to be true. Because those are what we need to be successful. Can you relate to what I just said? You read those paragraphs, and they sound real nice. They're beautiful words. But are they true? Because how many times? Who used my vent brush yesterday? That kind of stuff. I was off on Thursday and somebody used my dryer and didn't put it back. Those are powerful words there. Not true. Let's make them true. So that 6 months from now, when someone new comes in, we can be proud for them to read that front paragraph. You know, that front paragraph's been on that book for 2 years. Because that's what my sight is. That's what my vision is. To have that mission statement be real life. And it's not. Let's make it real life.
I think why everybody does complain about that is because not everybody has their own tools, so they go from, well, I know,
You've got to
but
go
I
out travel from one side of town to the other to come in, okay, and say, what's the problem? And there's all kinds of problems. Well, here's what you got to do, okay? Why don't you try this? Why don't you try to talk to this person? Why don't you go there? Why don't you do that? Well, I can't get along, and there's a conspiracy, there's this, there's that, there's personality conflicts. There's no such thing. No such thing as personality conflicts. It's just that a lot of you guys are sensitive, and you need to desensitize yourself and get tough. And that's the bottom line on that one.
Be enthusiastic.
Right. If you spend more of your time sales-minded, a lot of that garbage will just go right out the window. You won't even think about it no more. Who likes you, who doesn't like you, this one doesn't like me, I feel depressed, that kind of stuff. I'll use this statement a lot. Get off the pity pot. Get off it, because nobody cares. You're in business to make money. You're getting up every morning to accomplish something. And if you're spending all day on a crybaby pot, pity pot, you're just wasting everybody's time all around you. And you're wrecking your day, and anybody else that's around you has to listen to all that crap. And that's what we have to eliminate this year too, 1988. Get up every day and get the job done that needs to be done. And what you have inside there is the job. In black and white. Turn to the next page. And I want to say this too. I don't like to come on strong to people, because some people that are sensitive and haven't worked on desensitizing themselves take things to heart. So I don't like to come on real strong, and I'm sorry if I am. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. There's only one way to do what I'm doing, and it's the way that I'm doing it right now. Bottom line, right down, right into the dirt. There's a way to do it and a way to talk about it. Next page should be job classification, job description, right?
Now we're on page 10.
Oh, I had you on the front page, reading the front page of the
that's
guide.
what they did.
Yeah, so we're on page 1. I'm gonna let you read this, Todd. I'm getting a dry mouth here. Okay? Yeah, I'll just interrupt you.
Job description. title, stylist, supervisor, salon manager. Hours, 40 hours per week. Skills required, must have operator's license, successful completion of all orientation training programs given by Mario's Hair Company.
You're going through one right now.
I have a question too, though, where it says 40 hours per week. Usually isn't it more than 40 hours per week that we put in now?
Yeah.
From 9 to 6.
You're
5 days a
people that are
week.
on commission, okay? A lot of this that's in here will not go for you. Okay, this book is designed for the new people coming in, and when we get technical like that, okay? You'll find in here where it says holiday pay. That's for new people coming in, or anybody in the room right now that chooses to go hourly with the benefits.
How
Okay?
would you keep track of those hourly people? Have them put-
Managers will keep track. Don't concern yourself. Okay, I know, I picked it up from him. I picked it up from him. That's something I like.
You did that very well. You said that so close to the way this is said. It's amazing.
One day I'll show them to you, yeah. I got you down pat. Go ahead.
Okay. Equipment required. Brushes, blow dryer, curling iron, clippers, shears, and combs.
They're all tax deductible too.
3 main areas of responsibility. Responsibility number 1, effectively offer and provide all services and aspects of hairstyling. Maintain good ratings on all technical evaluations, cutting, styling, perms, and color. Product knowledge of all retail goods the salon offers, including price, features, functions, and benefits. Product knowledge of all chemical products that the salon uses.
So you guys understand that? Okay, you know what the maintain good ratings is? Those are those pink sheets that you got in there. You'll get those every week. Now, as far as the knowledge, if you don't have the knowledge, get it. Okay? When I was selling trucks for Ford Motor Company, a guy came in and he said he wanted a steak truck. I had no idea. First day on the job. I thought it was a truck that you used to, right, yeah. I had no idea at all. You know, this is back like 13 years ago. And I had to find out because I looked bad. You know, thinking, whoops, I was a nervous wreck. What's a steak truck? I'm trying to make a sale here. So whatever you don't know, find out. And you got managers, you got Nora, you got even me if you need to call me to find out the information. It's a truck that's got a flat bed with wooden stakes in it. You ever see those riding around? Yeah.
You drive one, Sue. You drive one.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay, go ahead.
Effectively service every customer under current guidelines and procedures of Mario's Hair Company. Customer handling system.
Thank you.
Performance standards. Maintain good ratings on all performance evaluations and standards. Retention, retail, referral, extended service.
All right, let me say this, I interrupt you again. The evaluations, which will be every quarter, okay, as they always were, are all different. They're exactly like those pink sheets. That's what the whole system is, those pink sheets. So the whole company's revolved around now. So when you get an evaluation, that's what it'll be about. And it should be a positive thing. You should be excited to get your evaluation. Not thinking, oh boy, now I gotta sit down and listen to Todd bitch. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. Okay? He's there to help you. Help you to get to those standards. Get to your success level. Okay, go ahead.
Performance expectations. Practice Mario's Hair Company customer handling procedures on every customer. Phone, greeting, consultation, wash and condition, cutting session, styling session, wrap-up, and send-off. Responsibility number 3, salon operations. Commit to support and carry out all policy, procedure, and regulation programs. policy and procedures. Good rating by complying with all policies, procedures, and standards of conduct. Salon maintenance. Good rating on complying with all cleaning duties. Keep station free of hair, dirty combs, brushes, towels, and help with cleaning duties assigned by salon manager.
Let me interrupt you there too, okay? You're in the salon, cleaning duties, okay? Never discuss any of that stuff at sales meetings. If you have a feeling, let's just, for fun here, I'm gonna take you guys. She's not doing her cleaning duties, okay? In your mind, you come up with a thing, well, Sue's not doing her share of cleaning duties. You wanna, when the manager spends time with you during that half hour, you may wanna try to throw that in, if the manager's gonna let you. I don't know, you might wanna try to throw that in. If you can't throw it in, you're gonna have to wanna talk to Sue. Okay? Say, Sue, we're all in this together, we're a team, and, I don't feel like you're doing your cleaning duties. And then she'll tell you her side. But none of that to be discussed at any kind of sales meetings. Go ahead.
Should I go ahead with employee policy?
Yeah, well, if you want dress code, we'll go right to that. The other things that are here ahead of that are, oh, here's one here, confidential information, okay? Part of the company's success from this point on, from tomorrow on, depends on collecting and utilizing pertinent information in the form of manuals, business records, personal and customer data. The company finds it difficult to maintain consistent operations when salon information is destroyed, lost, or stolen. It's forbidden for any employee to misuse or steal salon information. Violation of this policy will result in disciplinary action, dismissal, and/or legal action. Now what that means, okay, this is a new item in this manual. We're gonna have file systems that are gonna be open, right here. It'll be on your desk, file systems. There's a sheet that's in this manual. Should be the first one, the left side. Looks like this. Covering our ass, okay? Because the file system's gonna be open to you. We do not.
Across the street, don't contact not one person, but they happen to find out that you're over there. Are you gonna take me?
That's fine. No,
Over
that's
that?
fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying, this, did you read this?
Yeah, I did.
I understand this document in no way prevents me from working in the barber beauty business after termination of employment. Now, some people have contracts, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, to where before, I think Great Expectations has them, to where you can't work within a certain mile radius. They don't? 5 miles? Okay, well, a lot of places have that. We don't have that. You can work across the street, but we want you working for Mario's Hair Company. That's why you're in this room. We want you here. We want you to be happy. We care about you. We want to do everything we can to pad to your professional frame of mind and to pad your pay. We just don't want you messing with none of our stuff if you don't like us no more, okay? if those attitudes that we talked about simply can't get out, okay, and you're having a hard time with a customer handling system type thing, or having a hard time with a manager, whatever, if you can't realize that everybody's here to help you, then you're gonna wanna go someplace else. And when you do, we don't want you taking none of our stuff. Just as simple as that. You do the same thing. Anybody have any questions about that?
Vicki, why don't you move? You seem uncomfortable over there.
They all seem to light them at the same time, I'm okay. Just whamming.
Anybody have any questions about that? And that's why we're gonna have those sheets, to have an alarm go off when a new customer comes in. Because every single new customer this year cost the organization $40. Every new customer. How do we arrive to that figure? We take the amount of money that we spent on advertising and divide it by the amount of new people that came in. $40 a person came in. A lot of those people were blown out the door. They didn't come back. A lot of them. So, that's how valuable a new customer is. That's how valuable every customer inside that file thing is going to be. They cost bucks to get them. You know how much it costs for an ad? Phenomenal. For those little tickets that you see going around. I've spent $2,000 a week on Advil to keep you guys going in there. To keep you going, and at the same time we're trying to keep you going, we hear comments going on in the background. I'm not doing no perms. I'm not going to do that perm for $19.95. We hear those comments. Our feelings get hurt. We're busting our brains out to get people to come in, and we hear little comments going on in the background. Why should I have to do that? It's no fair. Well, are you there to just sit down? Would you rather be sitting down? Or would you rather be doing a perm that someone else isn't doing across the street? So, I'm just getting into the dirt of the business here that you guys don't see. And I understand that you don't see it. And the importance behind all these things that we're talking about here. I don't expect you to see it. Because it's my job to be out there wrestling around, okay, with all these things. I don't expect you to see it. But I have to explain it to you so that you understand why all these principles are being developed here. The business that we have now is different than what we had 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. Like I said at the beginning, we always felt like we were different. We're not different no more. We're just like anybody else. Except starting tomorrow, we're going to be different again. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't think you do either. I want to be the exception. That's what the fun of business is all about. That's what the fun of being professional is all about. Knowing that you're with the best and are the best. And all these things is what makes it. So, we always hear those little things going on in the background. I think some of the people were upset because when Pam left, some of you got some of Pam's tickets. Salespeople think this way. I've got myself a darn yearly account here for free. A yearly account. Because Mario spent $500 on mailouts. I got a yearly account for free. Yeah, I've got to give up a service right now, but I'm going to impress that person enough to where they're going to come and see me 4 times, 5 times a year and send their neighbors in too. But see, non-sales minded people don't think that way. They say, this isn't fair. Get the point I'm trying to get across? And if you think that way, you won't make it. These things will be too hard for you. What's going to happen when the 7th time around comes and you got to give a free haircut, whoever thinks that way? It's no fair, it's no fair. You have to look at people as yearly accounts. That's what they are. They're going to send family and friends in, they're going to be impressed with your system, and you're going to have lots of big paychecks. You got to give a little to get a little. And we all give it. Everybody gives it, not just you. It's a team effort. I got to give it. I give it all the time. To get. Does that make sense to you guys? It's just a frame of mind. That's all it is. A successful frame of mind. A sales frame of mind. That's how salespeople think. Just like what I told you. I got myself a yearly account. It's going to be another $300 padded onto my income. Because I impress the person. That's what you're there for. To impress people. Where were we here? We were talking about dress code. To receive the thank you and come back in and make an appointment. Thank you reminder card. Well, dress code, unless anybody has any questions. Any more? You guys all mad at me yet or no?
Appropriate, that looks appropriate.
Go ahead and read the dress code.
D, dress code and personal image. The cosmetology industry, like other fashion-related industries, set current trends. The company recognizes the importance of current trends in hair, makeup, clothing, along with personal hygiene and grooming in making a professional image. The company insists that each employee contribute to the total salon image by adhering to the following guidelines. Number 1, hair should be clean, properly styled, and makeup shall be applied prior to assigned reporting time. Number 2, fingernails should be clean and well manicured. Number 3, the body and mouth shall be free from unpleasant odors.
That's funny, but you know,
They're not words, just numbers.
I see hairstylists coming into work with hair smashed right there from their pillow. So, and I didn't say no names. Everybody in the world knows that? Go ahead.
Number 4, clothing and footwear shall be kept clean and in good repair. Appropriate clothing must be worn to maintain a professional appearance. The company disallows any sheer, low-cut, torn, or soiled garments to be worn. Employees are not allowed to wear blue jeans, t-shirts, corduroy jeans, or sweat clothing, workout clothing.
Okay, let's stop right there. No longer, starting February 1st, will we have Mario's Hair Company shirts. They're gone. So they're not allowed anymore. Before it was mandatory, now they're not allowed. But, okay, I expect everybody that's representing Mario's Hair Company to look at least that much better than the customer. Okay? So that eliminates, I was gonna bring a pair of Diane's jogging shoes to hold them up. Okay? I forgot that too.
That's bad.
Yeah, they're a dirty, worn out pair of jogging shoes that you've probably seen people working next to you wear. Okay, it's like, let me cut your hair, and when I'm done, I'll wash your car for you. Okay? It's not professional. We're changing our whole image. Along with this program, our image is changing. Okay? I was down to another salon last week, and this is after I made all these changes, you know, with the dress code and everything, and I saw how another salon looked in coincidence with the way we looked with our shirts. And I won't mention the name of the salon, you know, because you know, I don't want to cause no problems or anything, but they had aprons on, which we used to have, okay? Aprons that had the logo there, okay, and then blue jeans. And I thought to myself, when I looked at it, you know, oh, geez, it was terrible. You know, so unprofessional to me. Apron and blue jeans. That used to be the trend, okay? In my book, it's not no more. I don't want to follow the trend. I want you guys, Nancy looks fantastic right now, okay? Maggie, Debbie, you know, you guys look fantastic. Angel, fantastic. Just a professional type look. We're going to have little, what could you call them? Nameplates, so everybody knows who you are. And that you're a representative, a sales representative of Mario's Hair Company. You'll have Mario's Hair Company and your name. And you just clip it on to your blouse, or whatever.
The cornrows that she's talking about are just,
Okay.
color blue.
Okay? No,
No,
I'm not
just
gonna
blue.
take the jean
Okay,
thing
you
away
can
from
wear
you.
black
Okay, you
jeans,
guys like
purple
jeans,
jeans,
so.
red jeans, just
We
no
love
blue jeans.
No blue jeans, okay?
Just no blue.
And the jogging shoes, and
Okay.
the t-shirts.
No
Okay, we'll do it that way. But the big thing is this, okay? What I said before, If you don't think you're gonna look better than 90% of your customers, then change your outfit before you leave the house. And the manager that you have will let you know if there's something wrong in that area. And please, don't fight it, okay? We have an image that goes along with all these things that you just got here today. And that's one of the first steps, your first impression of somebody. And believe me, a lot of people do look real sloppy, and I'm not picking anybody out, okay? But those jogging shoes do it.
We didn't dress.
You said it doesn't go into effect until February first, but do we have to wear our Mario
No,
stuff starting tomorrow?
starting tomorrow. If you're all set with your wardrobe, the only thing you'll be missing is a badge. The only thing you'll be missing is a badge, and once you get the badge, we'll expect you to have that on there every day. Okay? I want you, here's what I'm looking for. I want you to feel professional. Starting right out from your look, I want you to feel professional. Because it goes along with everything that's in there. You can have all these things, and if you look like you're ready to wash somebody's car, you could be talking to somebody about a BIC club, and they're gonna look at you and, yeah, you're kidding. Who's this?
I'd like to thank you personally for giving us the opportunity to look more like professionals.
You're welcome. Times change. You have to be adjustable to change. And when we make changes, we can't make everybody happy. That's impossible. Cannot do it. So those of you who are happy, great. Those of you that are not, I hope you get happy.
What was the conclusion of the meeting?
No boozy. Okay, what's next here? Dress code. I'm gonna go skim through this. All these other things that are in here, everybody listening? All these other things that are in here are pretty well standard items. The standards of conduct, sexual harassment, not following the customer handling system is a standard of conduct. We have somebody walking around saying, I'm not doing that. And I'm not smiling at this guy. Okay, and I'm not going to treat him nice. Well, that's a standard of conduct, so that's why it's in there. Gross neglect, vandalism, that's all standard things, okay? Falsification of record, discourtesy to customers, fighting or threats, insubordination. Does anybody know what that means, insubordination? What that means is bad-mouthing the company and the things about it while you're in it. That's what insubordination is. What- Go ahead.
I was wrong.
About what?
Insubordination.
Oh. There's a definition of it in here somewhere.
It's on page 7.
Drugs and alcohol, that's all standard stuff. We don't want you to be doing that kind of stuff.
Do we have the right,
Why I look at it. That's just-
do we have the right, I have a good reason to refuse service to certain people? Or
Say that again?
do we have the right for a certain reason to refuse service to somebody? Like, there's a lot of, drunk people that don't even know what they're saying, and they come in and say this, and they're on drugs.
Should make your
Next
job
day
easier.
they come back. I've had a guy.
Only when they pass out.
He says, this is like 2 years ago, he goes, I want my hair short in the back and, no, long in the back and short in the front. And then I did it like that, and then he goes, I want it long in the front, short in the back, and I'm going, he goes, no, wait, I was on drugs, I don't even know what I said. He could have, started to got me in trouble, but do we have like that right?
Well, you have to adapt and adjust to certain situations. Play it by ear.
There's this one guy comes into our shop, and he's really eerie. He looks normal, but he's eerie to all of us. And he'll come in and, he comes in, but yet he doesn't like what we do to him.
I know who he is. He's been coming in there since I worked there 5 years ago.
No.
Do I know who he is or not? Okay. He's a Mexican guy.
No.
Oh, God, yes.
He's
He's an older guy, right? No? Don't let people upset you like that. Kill them with kindness. Don't let anybody make you cry.
That one, remember you said next time that guy comes in, the other Mike that used to work for us, the Mexican, you go let me or Mike handle him. And, he was saying really bad
dad gestures in front of me and,
Mhm.
you know, grabbed my hand when I was cutting his hair and I told you about him.
Let me tell you something, okay? Just to answer all the questions on this subject. You're in a sales business, working with the public, these things are gonna happen. Better get tough. Better get tough, because they happen. Simple, that's the bottom line on that one.
Gotta handle it the best you can.
Exactly, adapt and adjust and be tough and desensitize yourself. You cannot be a sensitive person, getting all upset. You gotta realize it comes with the territory that you're in. You can't spend a whole day or a whole week on it. It comes with the territory. Okay, we got how to utilize downtime, booking appointment policy, family and friends service policy. You guys can read all this today, later on if you want to. Educating and training policy, performance review, retailing policy, servicing and pricing, smoking, eating, drinking, scheduling, discipline, working outside salon policy, redo policy. That's it. We're done with the handbook. You guys can read that, and at the end of the week, there should be a piece of paper in there saying that you understand it all, and you need to sign that with your manager. You need to sign these, this one, and the agreement today. Diane needs this, we got new computers, and we gotta get you on it.
Okay, which is it?
But you need to go through that laminating process. Let me just look and see what we did not cover.
Why don't you cover lunch periods with people that are gonna be an hour away?
Okay. Why don't you cover that? You see it there?
No, that's what I was, well, I just want you to inform them that that's gonna be, that's something that's gonna be. And if you're an hour
Okay,
away-
real quickly, some things that I didn't cover.
Coming in at 9 and leaving at 6 o'clock, that type of thing. If they're an hour away, it's gonna be very imperative.
Were the goals and the graphs. You find it in there and then I'll do it. Goals and the graphs, okay? You'll be working on goals weekly. In other words, what's been happening, manager's been coming up to you, sitting you down, let's fill out a goal sheet, okay? So you fill out the goal sheet and you're all excited and pumped up and you're gonna reach those goals and then all of a sudden the manager's gone. And next month he comes around and says, how's your goals doing? Okay, so this will be a weekly thing, and you'll have a nice little graph to keep in your station to where you can actually see the picture of how you're doing. It'll show you up or down or staying the same, and you'll be doing that yourself. And your manager will get with you on that. That I didn't cover. We have a guarantee plaque that'll be in the salon this week. It'll be posted up right by the register. Or by the products, okay? It says that all our products and service are 100% guaranteed, which will help you. You can use them as a sales tool, whatever way you want to use it. We have a newsletter that will be coming out every month, okay? And it'll tell you what's happening, what's going on at Mario's Hair Company. We'll probably have a stylist of the month, every month type thing. Have your picture in the newspaper. That kind of stuff, so. That'll all be based on customer handling system, production. Okay, what did you want me to?
Oh, the lunch hours.
Lunch hours, that is?
Well, no, I gotta go coming in.
Okay, Todd wanted me to go over,
The schedule?
the lunch.
Against the law about putting your age down to lunch.
There you go. He can't do that, that's against the law.
I had to say that.
Nobody else to tell us.
Can I lie? Yeah. Okay. That's not Honey, when did
Okay. Taking lunch. Now, let me just have your attention real quickly here. As you go through this manual, those of you who choose to stay on commission, you'll go through something and you'll say, oh, really? But it won't be for you, okay, because you'll be on commission. One perfect example is a holiday pay. Okay, you won't get that, okay? Now here on the taking lunch, lunch breaks are scheduled when there's a break in the work schedule. In other words, we got a shop full of people, and you don't want to go, bye, I'm going to lunch, okay? You got to capitalize while it's there. The lunch break may not exceed 1/2 hour. This is for the hourly employees, okay? All employees are required to take a lunch break unless cleared with salon manager. Lunch breaks are defined as the time an employee leaves the salon or eats and relaxes in the back room. Is that what you wanted me to go over, Todd?
Yeah, that should cover, as long as they're aware that that's, they're limited to a half hour or an hour.
Yeah.
Is that true for everyone, a half an hour?
I would say so, yeah.
All right, you know what I wanna ask you too? What if some of these people decide, all right, we'll use me. I'll say, okay, I'm gonna go hourly right now. And then I decide,
Oh,
forget it.
okay, good question.
You know what I
Good
mean? I
question.
wanna make more money.
Bonnie just asked a good question, okay? Everybody listen. Question of the day. Everybody ready? Bonnie just asked a good question that I didn't cover, should've, okay? You have to make a decision what you wanna do. You wanna stay on commission? Anybody have any questions?
What was the question you guys
Okay, I got a question.
No, that's okay.
I got a question for you, okay? If you feel good about what we just did, raise your hand. Okay. Most of you feel good.
I
There are
was
some
supposed to be
people who
like
don't.
Really?
What, you like what?
It would dress up.
We look professional.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to act professional in blue jeans and t-shirts. Sue wants to know when you wear Reebok.
These are Reebok.
Oh, one more thing I wanna say, okay? I realize that there's a lot of different things that you just got. It's like, hey, I just threw a whole bunch of stuff on you, okay? Gonna give you about 3 days to get used to this stuff, okay? And that's it. So concentrate on developing these habits right away, okay? These club cards, know your business. That's the first step to being a salesperson. Know your product, know your business. Go home and study. Ask questions. Ask your manager. Your managers already know the program. They've already had sessions with me already, so they know the answers to just about everything. So get used to it quick. Don't be 2 weeks down the road saying, oh, I forgot, or I didn't remember. You know, don't do that. Get on it right now.
So by Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
But somebody that's just starting, they don't know nothing, okay, about Mario's Hair Company. They don't know the customer handling system that we have, they know nothing. And neither do you guys at this point. That's entry level. Retail is $15 a week. I could bring my son in here and just stand around, and he could sell $15 a week in retail. I'll guarantee you that. I bet every dime I have on that statement, just by standing there and holding it. He'd sell $15 a week. You know what $15 a week is?
3 bottles.
Right. Yeah, 3 bottles. Some of us have a hard time doing that. It's not that we have a hard time doing it, we just don't do it. There's no hard time at all, we just simply don't do it. We're not even creating a hard time, we're just not doing nothing. That's why you come up with a 0 or a 249 or something like that, because you really didn't do anything in that department. So the minimum requirement at entry level is going to be $15 a week in retail. We're working off percentages this year. Your daily sheets will be based on percentage. You add your perm and color together, and it'll be a percentage. The minimum requirement for people coming in is 10%. Chemical service. That's what we expect. 10%. Which means this. $380. What's 10% of that? $38 in perm and color. That's a minimum requirement. It's hardly anything. It's doing 1.5 perms. Or 1 perm at the regular price with a haircut. That's a minimum requirement for entry-level people. After 3 months, it's $450. If somebody can't be doing $450 in service totals after 3 months, they might as well get out of the business completely. That's the way I look at it. You're better off to be working somewhere where you don't have to be concerned about making money. $25 would be the minimum requirement in retail after 3 months. So just put yourself wherever this is for you. Been here 3 months, $25 in retail. Minimum requirement. 20% chemical service. So what's 20% of 450?
90.
That's right, 90. So what's that mean? It means a couple of perms, couple colors. Not very hard to do. In fact, it should be real easy now with Nora. She'll be at your beck and call every day inside the salon. She'll be off on Sunday and Monday, right? You know what we said? Sunday and Monday.
Well, what happens if something happens on those days? Do you
Oh,
have a paper
man.
or something where we can get you?
Oh, man.
Are we gonna have your own phone number? Should already have it.
6 month minimum requirement, $500 total. Services, that's a minimum requirement. In 6 months' time, standing behind the chair, from the day one being dealt 35 to 45 people a week, if you can't come up with $500, there's something wrong, and you'll see that after you see our customer handling system. If you can't make $500, there's something wrong. Either the manager's not seeing you, okay, not follow the customer handling system, or something tricky's going on. Because there's definitely a problem. $35 minimum requirement in retail after 6 months, okay, and 25% chemical service. And your retail will be calculated in percentages too, on the daily sheets. And as we go through the handbook, and Todd's gonna read that too, you'll see that before you go home every day, you're gonna have to sign what you did for that day, so that there's no confusion there anymore either. And then also with the backboard, that type of thing, and then you'll have your graphs that you'll fill out once a week, which you don't know about yet either. After 1 year, $550 minimum requirement. Now that's not bad. To me, that's being lazy, $550. If I spent a year right there, if I spent a year standing right here, and after 1 year, I was taking in the same thing I took in the first week on a job, and that's happened here. We've had people been here for 2 years taking in the same thing they took in the first week on a job. And you know, to take in $500 a week only takes 18 hours of your time. That's all it takes, 18 hours of work. There's 22 hours left that people aren't doing anything. So if I spent a year, and I started out my first week making $300, or $350, and a year later I'm still taking up $350, I'd be ashamed of myself. I wouldn't even want to show face. Then I'd have to go home and tell my wife, and she'd say, well, how much did you take in? Same thing I took in the first week. She'd say, what are you doing? I don't know. Guess I don't care. And that's the case. Just don't care. But if you're a sales-minded person, you'll care. You want to make that money. So those are the minimum requirements. Just put yourself into that picture if you're taking notes, because it's not in the handbook. And when you sit down with your manager once a week, they'll help you. If you're having a hard time with it, the first thing a manager is going to do is train you on how to reach these figures. And if you're going to fight it by saying, well, I think I'm doing good, then it's a waste of time. Nobody can say anything to you. So those are the minimum requirements. If you're not there, please let the manager help you and find out what you're doing that's causing you not to reach those levels. Don't take it so defensively. It should be productive times when you sit down with your manager. It should be great times, not bad times. You should look forward to that because they're going to be your coach. The people that we have managing, by the way, people at 75th Avenue have a new manager starting tomorrow. Does everybody know who it is? Melody is your new manager. Okay, I consider, okay, I've been in this business for 20 years. I've been working with Melody for 2 years, training her. I consider her to be one of the tops in the business. I haven't met any managers outside of Mario's Hair Company that are better than her. She's an ideal coach for you. She's a nice person. She'll sit down, she'll help you, she'll guide you, she'll teach you, and show you the way to go, and help you with hitting these numbers and things that, do you want to say something? No? Okay. And people at Peoria, you have a new manager starting tomorrow. You know, does everybody know who that is? It's Angie. And Angie's new in management. She'll be working exclusively with me, one-on-one, every day of her life, until she gets to the point where she's like Melody, which in my book should take her about 3 months. So I'm going to ask you for understanding and cooperation, people at Peoria. Give her as much cooperation as you possibly can. You know, we don't want to go in there with personality conflicts automatically, that type of thing. But I'll be down there to help you out with that. But you guys at 75th Avenue, getting tops in the field. Tops in the
You're
field.
gonna be here too?
Yeah. Me and Fred will be here. Fred will be here in the afternoon, I'll be here in the morning. You know where we're going? Right to the top, all the way up. You wanna come with us? Sure is. Another thing we don't wanna do is finding hair cutters in the back room. Hibernation area. There's a section in your handbook that is entitled How to Utilize Downtime. Did you see that yet there? How to utilize downtime. Which will, you know, the back room, whenever you find yourself going back in there, be scared of it. Okay? On those tapes that you've seen, stylist effectiveness, breeding ground for neurotics. And they are, if you think back, you'll see that it's true. That's where all the negativity flies around in that back room, and all you need is a couple people back there. This place sucks, it's dead around here, why do we have to do this, why do we have to do that, it's not fair. That's what goes on in the back room. We want to eliminate it completely because that's not what salespeople do. We're going to do things that salespeople do. That's what we're going to be doing all year. All the things that salespeople do. That's something they don't do. They don't sit in back rooms.
Mind you, if you're using, like, sometimes when I put a grocer in the back room or something, we start cleaning or anything, the customer comes in, at least we don't look like, he doesn't come into an empty shop,
Right.
and then somebody will pop out from the back room, it looks like we're all busy doing something,
Yeah.
whether it's cleaning or whatever.
Well, there's a section in there, how to utilize downtime. And I hope that everybody uses that. Because it's very productive. I used to tell people, you know, when I was, you know, working and managing in a salon, you know, back in the early days, when we weren't doing anything, we'd go out and pass out flyers. We just put our tennis shoes on and start walking the streets. We didn't have any customers that day, but when we went home, didn't we feel better? We felt like, hey, at least we did something today. We generated something. Maybe tomorrow will be better. We didn't sit, if we just sat around in the back room crying and complaining about how bad things are, I wouldn't be standing here right now, I'll tell you that. I'd be lost somewhere, working for something, somewhere else. I wouldn't be doing this. So it depends on what you're looking for, what you want. If you want something, get it. You can't get it in the back room. If it's a customer that you're looking for, you won't find them back there. They're not in the drawers. They're out there, lingering around. There's one right out there right now. So there's many ways of accumulating customers. All right, Fred, I'm gonna let you, anybody have any questions on anything that I said about what not to do? Anybody want to add any what not to do's? Those are the things that I thought of, that I see when I go into salons. And not just Mario's Hair Company, I see it everywhere. I go in all the salons, not just our places, I walk in all of them. I'll sit down, have a cup of coffee, read a magazine, and watch, and look, and listen. So it's not just here, it's everywhere. There's a lot of situations when I go into a shop, a lot of times when people are very rude. acknowledge me, that I'm there. And, you know, you see it and hear it. Another thing, you know, that I might wanna bring up, when a customer comes in, consider that door, the noise on the door, a little bell. So that he doesn't have to wait 60 seconds, that's a long time, 60 seconds to get said hello to. He counted out 60 seconds to have to stand in the middle of a room, that's a long time to be ignored. That's another thing that I might wanna bring up before I turn it over to Fred here. Managers, and this is all part of customer handling here. The managers are gonna be picking out 2 or 3 people that have never been in Mario's Hair Company every week and having them fill out one of these. And these questions are based on the customer handling system. How strong was the quality of your stylist's greeting? Okay, we're talking about customer handling system now. Okay, think, did your stylist make you feel welcome and comfortable? That's a question they'll be filling out. New people, there'll be 2 or 3 a week that your manager will select. And when you see this thing in their hand, they'll have it right in their hand when they sit in your chair. And when you have your meetings, you'll know, your manager will tell you. Salon policy, anytime you see one of these roaming around in a customer's hand, you make it a point to just go up to them and say, hi, how you doing? Make it a point. And you might want to get into a habit of doing that with everybody that's not sitting in your chair. You don't just have to talk to people that are in your chair, talk to everybody. Say hello to them, warm and welcome. Next question, how much effort did your stylist put into discovering what you wanted and needed? Think, did your stylist ask questions about how you style your hair? Any problems you have with it? How you wanted it cut? What you use on your hair? That's part of customer handling system. Hi,
Howdy.
what do you got, pop?
I just check every week.
Oh.
That's
It's
due.
bad time.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can skip this week.
All right.
We need our seat.
We need RC. We need RC.
2 cases.
2 cases of RC.
Got it.
Okay. How effective was your stylist in offering suggestions to solve problems? That's a question. Think, did your stylist recommend chemical service, styling techniques, or products to solve a particular problem? That's part of the customer handling system that we're going to talk about in just a little while that can't be done with 1 out of 10 people. It's got to be done with everybody. Even people that you see all the time, there's always problems to find. Every time, you know, I've been doing haircuts on people, and so has Fred, for 9 years. And we still find problems that they have, right? Mm-hmm. Little corners there, cutting them different, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of problems. How effective was your stylist in suggesting services, products, and referrals? We'll talk about that later. Send me some customers. What was your overall feeling about the quality of the salon experience? Think, were you in competent hands? That's a big thing with people. Am I in competent hands? Does this person know what they're doing? Was the salon atmosphere professional? Were you treated like a guest? This is what 3 new people a week will fill out in your salon. And when you see this in their hand, make a little alarm go off. We got ourselves a new customer. Through somehow, some way, we got a new customer. Okay? The little alarm goes off. Everybody goes up and says hello. And I don't mean all at once. Hi! I don't mean that. I mean very warm and natural. And you guys have seen me, you know, walk through here while you're doing a perm and just go up and touch somebody. How's it going? Okay, and you do the same, because you've been in the business a long time, so you know. Okay, if I got a customer, there's a lot of times Bonnie will come up and say, hey, how's it going? Okay, it makes them feel warm and comfortable and welcome, like you know them. See, some people think they only have to talk to their own customers. They put a label on them. This is my customer. I'm the only one that can look at them. You need something signed?
She gotta take
Okay. Does that make sense to you, what I'm telling you? Very important. People go home with that feeling. They remember that. That little lady that you had, whoever had in the chair Saturday, Just by me coming up to her, that's a thought that went into her brain. And she thought about it when she went home, I guarantee you. Boy, that was a nice man. He came by and touched me and said hello. What a nice man. So let's just don't do it to our own customers. And when you see this, it's policy. You gotta go up and say hello. So, like in the beginning when I said, the people that are non-aggressive are gonna have to make a decision. Either gonna step into the twilight zone and start becoming aggressive, or not. And if you're not gonna make it through this system. You gotta be able to use eye contact, you gotta be aggressive, you gotta be happy, you gotta be enthusiastic. That's what salespeople are. And that's what we're gonna be. And we've been through people where I've walked in a salon and watched them look at the floor and say thank you to somebody. Those days are over. If you're in a bad mood or had an argument with a boyfriend or whatever, or a husband, or a situation that happened on the way to work, you have to learn how to be the master of your emotions. That's why I recommend that book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. You have to learn how to do that when you're in business and in the world of sales. I've been in positions where I had partners and I almost had fist fights with them, and the door clicked, and I was standing like this, and I had to turn around and say, hi, how you doing? You have to be the master of your emotions and know what business is. You can't carry those emotions around with you and look at the carpet and try to impress somebody, because that vibration goes home with them. And they'll never come back, no matter how great your haircut was. I was told 15 years ago by somebody who went up to me. I was a good hair cutter, and he said to me, he said, Mario, no matter how great of a hair cutter you are, he said, you know, and you're good. He said, I could send you to New York in the next contest and win a big trophy. He says, I know you can do it. If the people don't like you, they'll never come back. You can have a whole thing of trophies all around you. That's why that little thing I hung up to start with is the most important statement for you to understand. I'm going to turn over to Fred now. He's going to show you how to use it.
We're gonna have Todd go through the procedure first, since this will be the last step.
All right.
Customer number. You can turn to page 8 if you want to follow along. Finger and follow along like it's cool.
What are you going to do, read the manual or what?
No, we're gonna read the customer handling system.
Oh, okay. Now, along with that, there's 2 pink sheets. There's 2 pink sheets in the back of that folder. Pull those sheets out too. That's your point system. No, yeah, 3, I'm sorry. 3. Those pink sheets are what you'll get every week. And you'll get a number of points. And we'll have an incentive system for you on that. The more points you get, more incentive we'll have. We'll always have something.
Tony's missing the third sheet of the two sheets.
Who fills out
Single
this?
one, the single one.
Aren't they stapled together?
It's the one that's
Two
like
single
that.
together and one by itself.
There's a quality service.
I don't have any others, so you'll just have to let her look at yours.
You should go look at mine. Tony.
Anyways, but those pink sheets are what you'll get. So get used to seeing those every week. That's customer handling system. That's what we're looking at. And that's what you're going to be thinking about every day in the haircut shop. Every single day. Those are the most important things that people are looking for, and we're going to give it to them. So the whole Mario's Hair Company will be based on those sheets. That's your life right there. If you're going to be a Mario's Hair Company person, that's your life. Customer handling. Go ahead, Todd.
Okay. Customer handling system. A. Just as other retail businesses, Mario's Hair Company is committed to customer services. We consider and treat each customer as the most important portion of our continued success. A trustful and long-lasting relationship must be cultivated in each encounter you have with your client. The following guidelines, when carefully implemented, shall ensure quality services and shall foster a truthful relationship. Good communication skills, verbal, speaking, nonverbal, body language, and extraverbal, and how we say something are keys to utilizing this guide to its fullest. Number 1, greeting the client. First impressions are always extremely important in establishing a respectful rapport with your customer. Nonverbal communication, such as the style of your dress, is important. Mario's Hair Company expects each stylist To greet every client in a cheerful and courteous manner. Number 1, smile. Number 2, eye contact. Number 3, handshake.
Okay, hold it there and handshake. Okay? Hold it at the handshake. Everybody's worried about shaking hands, right? Am I right in saying that? We're all worried about shaking hands. Little fast heartbeat, right? Okay. Let me say this. I don't want everybody walking around saying, "Hi!" That's not what I'm looking for, okay? "Hi, I'm Melody from Welcome to Mark." That's not what we're looking for at all. Anything that's gonna be true has to come from the heart, okay? If it's not in your heart to shake hands with somebody, then don't do it, okay? But I will say this, here's what we're looking for. This is true customer handling. Customer comes in, okay? You get him to the chair, find out who he is, you get him to the chair and you say, "Is this your first time here at Mario's?" And he says, "Yes, it is." "Well, my name's Joe. Welcome to Mario's here."